What if I told you a mouse was designed by a YouTuber? Probably just a cash grab, right? But what if I told you that YouTuber built their channel on reviewing mice? Has over 250 gaming mice in his house, 150 mouse reviews on the channel, and over 22 years experience in first-person shooters. Yeah, this isn't a cash grab. This is about taking mice to that next step. I started the Rocket Jump Ninja YouTube channel because I realized I aimed better with certain mice. And others did too. Mice have come a long way in that time. Performance is amazing, but there's still one thing that's being neglected. And when it comes to aim, shape is king. I've spent the last year testing my theories on design, and my aim has never been better. So here it is. My experience, my creation. The Xtrfy MZ1, Zeiss Rail.
Stop wasting time on sharing reviews on social media without being recognized by the brand you support. You&Me mobile app is a social media e-commerce platform that values consumers' reviews and recommendations with loyalty rewards for products and services you care about. Our 8-app integrated news feed allows consumers to see recommendations based on their interests and be inspired by good buys shared by other users in the community. On the review page, consumers can explore and participate in campaigns by creating creative content reviews of their favorite brands, tag the products that they recommend, and enjoy the satisfaction that comes from becoming co-creators of brand values. We value each reviews and recommendations with loyalty points that can be applied towards their next purchase or be converted into cash rewards. Consumers, you hold the key to a brand's growth and reputation. Your trust, enthusiasm, and patronage should be appreciated and rewarded. Be part of You&Me's word-of-mouth movement now. Share the good, good to share.
I want to extend our warmest welcome to you on behalf of Apple and on behalf of M1.
to the Asia Esports Festival and Comic Con for the MLBB Community Tournament. My name is Jace, and joining me right here is Scrubby Cheeks, and of course, feeling excited today. I think we're literally going to just jump straight in this until the draw, because the most important thing is going to be I'm looking at the slight lineup of today, especially Weekend Our Mental earlier just now, and of course there's also Bushies. But before we actually hop into the game, don't forget this event is brought to you by Esports Entertainment Asia and Comic Con, supported by Bell's Academic Group, Build Tech, XL Games, M1, Monster Cat, Mountain Dew, Osim, Safra, Scorpio Electric, Shure, Imi Sushi, and you and me.
Yep, thank you so much to all our partners and sponsors for making today's event possible. And Jace, we had an exciting round of games yesterday. What are you looking forward to today?
Looking forward to, of course, the most important thing is the prize pool, $2,000 worth of voucher, 4,000 diamonds. And looking at both these two teams, very, very scary team. Yesterday we saw a very scary team as well. And of course, they are Zenka's Kindergarten. This time around, we're looking at Bushies. They are, of course, MPL players. Bento, we got Bushi himself. And also, if I'm not mistaken, we've got Swirl, and I believe the draft is ready, so let's hop on in. The most important thing is we need to take a look at what are these meta bans. There's not enough bans to go around. There's only 3 bans, so unfortunately, we've got to see what's going on.
Yeah, and I mean, yesterday we saw Valentina as well, so the new hero. It's available across the board, so we're gonna see if they do ban out this new hero on the board. I think yesterday it was Conqueror who picked it up. No, it was Zenka Kindergarten who picked it up and was absolutely phenomenal on it.
Yeah, I remember joking to the fact that we just they don't really have a form of engage. They pick up a Valentina and then jump all the way in, and then they took it away. And speaking about taking it away, taking a book from Zenka's Kindergarten, well, I would imagine a page filled with crayon. They picked up the Valentina for themselves.
Yeah, here we go again with this Valentina. In response, it looks like Weekend Our Mental is gonna pick up the Yves as well as the Yu Zhong.
Common suspects right here, Scurvy Cheeks, because the Yu Zhong and the Yves, they do well in this one-man combo. You got Yu Zhong to find his key targets to slam it all the way down, but Yves does have a big ultimate. Valentina as well, she's gonna take that ultimate away, take and eat shall receive. That's the mentality of Bushi going to this game.
Yeah, she might not have that ultimate, but she's definitely going to have it at some point in the game. It's really tough to play against Valentina, right? I mean, in the draft, what exactly would you be thinking about? Because you want to be able to get these ultimates for yourself, but at the same time, it's also giving an advantage to Valentina.
Yes, and of course, going to be in the banning list right now will be the side of Weekend Our Mental, right? They've got to ban something else out. None of these teams have picked up a core just yet, so limiting that core will be wise, because the Weekend Our Mental is going to come out from this as the first pick, and they'll be taking out the YSS. Bushi's on the other side. I think they can go and try to limit that as well, or they can leave some of these open. I think they need to try to pick their poison right now. Not too sure what kind of core they're kind of worried about. If I were them, I think, banning away a Roger could be it, because take a look, Weekend Our Mental have got burst damage in that Brody. You couple with that Roger as well, he's going to go in and do the cleanup crew. Don't forget, the real world manipulation is going to help, but instead, they'll be taking away the Rafaela, because Weekend Our Mental hasn't have that in the draft as well. That heal will help them reposition better as compared to Bushi's.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially with the Yves, right? That kind of positioning and support and being able to sustain yourself in the fights is going to be important. But it looks like they're going for the front line instead and picking up a Lolita to be able to fend off that Beatrix.
I like this Lolita pick, right? Weekend Our Mental, they're preparing for this. Bushies have the Valentina, they can go real world manipulation, and having the Lolita with the Luminum Blast that charges all the way up, it kind of cancels Bushi with the real world manipulation. So I like this Lolita going in, but the Lapu Lapu will come in as the pseudo frontline, and following up will be the Bushi boy on that Lancelot. This, by the way, is out of his MO. He usually likes to play the marksman instead of assassins. I love it when MPL players are starting to stepping out of their comfort zone. It has been hurting them all throughout, I would say, even in M3 itself. So I'm really glad to see a Lancelot in this tournament.
Yep, and we're gonna see in just a second now what Weekender Mental is responding with. Looks like it's going to be that Karina pick Assassin versus Assassin.
Yeah, Assassins versus Assassins, both sides drafted very well. I would say that you can't really point and put a finger to which team actually got an edge from all of these picks. It feels like both are just, you know, trying to one up each other. It's like, you know, a game of Uno, and then each side is like draw 4, and then I know you're not supposed to be able to add on. I think you're supposed to, like, you know, draw, the next person is supposed to draw 4, but you know, unorthodox rule says that if someone goes with the draw 4, you can actually follow up with draw 2, and the draw actually hands off to over to the other person. This is exactly what's happening. So ladies and gentlemen, on to game number 1. We go with that Uno analogy. I'm not too sure where I'm going about, but this will be it. Bushi's going in against Weekender Mental, first series of the day. I believe this is like what round. I think there's like second round or second round. That's right. This is already the second round already.
Yeah, we're gonna have one game in the second round, and it's Bushi's versus Weekender Mental to kick it off. And to say the least, we have pro players even to start this exciting day off. We're gonna see a lot of intense, I think, team fights that's gonna happen here. But this Valentina pick, I don't know, like we talked about that Yves and we talked about that Numenon Blast, right? Bushi's, they're gonna be able to have the exact same ultimates to use against Weekender Mental.
Yep. So it's going to be very interesting, right? And I think Valentina's like I am you, that's really going to be very important. It's a very flexible mage. That's why they kind of first picked all the way in. I don't believe a Clin was banned out during the banning phase, and both teams just decides not to go for the Clin at all. So yeah, I think it shifts the meta just slightly a little bit because you have a Valentina that is really wide open. Now, it's a 1-2-2 matchup that Weekender Mental is bringing on. Bushi's is not going to respond. You can see the Mythildas slowly pathing all the way at the bottom side. Both these two teams need to get to level 4 as quickly as possible, but Swirly Swirl on this Valentina should have priority to get to level 4 first due to her passive.
Yeah, and I like that 1-2-2 composition you talked about, because you do against the Beatrix with that insane wave clear, right? You're gonna want to be able to help Sanity to be able to survive that early game and scale into the later parts. And right now, it looks like they're brawling a little bit on that bottom side as well. Sanity taking some damage, but able to escape back into the safety of his turret.
Yep, the Lolita provides so much good peel, right? And don't forget, whenever she raises up the shields, Bushi wouldn't be able, Super Yep wouldn't be able to actually do a lot of damage towards this. So a lot of these damage are going to go to the wasted. But at the bottom side, though, ooh, Mizu, nice gank at the bottom side, will be able to pick up Beatrix for absolutely free because Kirby is not on duty. Kind of, you know, a guard post that left its position, but it is going to be Bushi picking up this first turtle of the game.
Yeah, we can see that they've gotten the gold lead though, still able to kind of maintain it. Bushi's with a slight up against Weekender Mental despite that kill over there. So I think Bushi's, they're somehow still able to farm as well, if not better than Weekender Mental.
Yep, because of the turtle, right? You pick up a turtle, you gain additional XP, you gain additional gold. So that's something that Bushi kind of prioritized. So they're trading objectives, which is kind of good, coming out from both of these two teams. Now, Swirly Swirl is already at level 5. You can see Forsaken a little bit slow in the XP department, will get focus down just a little bit, but I don't think there's enough damage coming out from Forsaken that they could actually do anything against this Valentina.
Yeah, not just yet. And right now, Swirly Swirl is level 5. That means she has the ability to start stealing this ultimate, even if Forsaken is not yet at level 4. And that might actually be detrimental to them.
Yeah, especially when you're going into this kind of game, right? Going in 4 minutes, you're still struggling going to level 4. You don't really have your ultimates, and here comes the ultimate this round. It is, wait, hold on a second. It is Swirly Swirl with the real world manipulation instead. Forsaken a little bit slow on the trigger, will fall, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly that, right? Using that real manipulation, turning, and don't get confused, right? We talked about the ultimates being confusing there with the heroes using them, but Forsaken unfortunately just didn't have that and fell to Swirly Swirl.
Yeah, Swirly Swirl is causing so much mayhem right now. Look at the amount of regen he's actually going. Is getting is the Karina on his back, but it will be here the Karina that falls. Forsaken used the real world manipulation already so early on. It's an easy kill going over get towards Bushies, and they are snowballing out of control.
Definitely starting to snowball right now at a 2k lead ahead of Weekana Mental. And the turtle has just spawned right now on the top side. Looks like Bushy Bush gonna make his way to it and might not be contested at all by Weekana Mental.
No, Weekana Mental would not be able to contest this at all. Just take a look at the XP level differences, right? Swirly Swirl is ahead. The mid laner is ahead of your jungle, of your mage. You don't really have mid lane priority anymore. So I think Weekana Mental had to switch gears just a little bit, start to gang the bottom side, because I feel like that's the lowest and the weakest lane. However, it is going to be a nice juke coming out from the side of Bushies.
They did get Mizu Black Dragon Form popped as well, but it looks like they will just settle for 1 kill and pretty satisfied with that. And Bushies, they took this fight so deep in Weekana Mental's jungle and still had the advantage.
Yeah, the funny part is you're usually getting like home ground advantage, especially when they're fighting you in jungle. But you can see how Weekana Mental, they're not responding. They're unable to respond because, you know, they don't want to give away these early. Look at the top side, so push in. That's why Smiling wasn't able to rotate all the way at the bottom, especially when Bento is already cutting waves. And here we go again.
Right under the turret, Smiling just falls completely, and I think Forsaken was also picked up as well separately on the map. It's another 2 kills added to Bushi's name. It's really not looking good for Weekana Mental if they continue to snowball this.
Yep, snowball, you know, build a snowman, build this snowball, build an avalanche. I feel like that's what Bushi has already successfully built. Weekana Mental, they're playing from absolute back foot. They really need to abuse the fact that they do have the real world manipulation. Wait, hold on a second. What am I even talking about? Bushi has the real world manipulation as well in the form of this Valentina. It's gonna be an uphill battle to climb. If you need a PSA, this is the PSA to ban away this Valentina, as so much damage being output by the side of Bushies. Nowhere to be found coming out from Weekana Mental as well. Kirby bringing in the Mathilda, bringing in someone to play along.
Yeah, but the damage from Bennett's Rage is enough. It's going to be Karina that secures a double kill though. Actually, no, Swirly Swirl, I think, took Mizus out. Oh my, the confusion, Jace, but managed to get 2 kills off of that right under the noses of Weekana Mental.
I am you. We are one. I am basically everything. Take a look. Is that a box that's floating in the mid-air earlier just now? But the point is, oh my goodness, Bushies. This Valentina pick has been very instrumental. I can't wait when they actually start leaking into official tournaments, but here we go.
Another engage right under the turret of Weekana Mental. The real manipulation is enough to fend them off for now. Swirly Swirl unfortunately doesn't have his ultimate to be able to replicate that, so they cut off the fight and cut their losses.
They cut their losses really good right there, right? Weekana Mental, at least they lose one person. That is the Yu-Jong, and now as a Karina, if you're unable to pick up kills, if you're unable to burst down anyone, I think that's the problem. If you're an assassin Karina, right, in the enemy, especially from the side of Weekana Mental, it just takes one more love type from the side of Bushies to take it all the way down, and another fight happening all the way at the top side. Bushies is not letting up in terms of all of this pressure.
Again, just using Mizu's ultimate to go right into the draft of Weekana Mental and already picking up 3 kills. Bushy Bush gets 1 for himself as well. That's... they trade out 1 for 3, but still 13 and 3 across the two teams. Now 7k gold lead. How is Weekana Mental gonna come back into this?
GG. I'll say that they have to go for the GG. They've got to go next. Bushies has gotten so much lead as well. They've got so much tempo. Weekana Mental, they're basically getting shut out from their own jungle. They can't do anything inside the jungle anymore. They totally lost map dominance. The only place that they're safe in is not even within their own turrets. It's within their own base. Take a look. They don't really dare to actually step all the way out. They walk into an empty jungle. Then they got ambushed. No pun intended right there. As Bushies will take the second tier turret as well, with Weekana Mental unable to do anything at all.
Yeah, unable to do anything is exactly right. I mean, Bushies, they've been taking the fights under the turrets. So they really have nowhere to hide at this point. Weak and Mental. The fights have always been happening either under the turrets of Weak and Mental, in the jungle of Weak and Mental. It's like there's no place for them to go.
No place is safe anymore, as Bushies is slowly encroaching against their territory. They're the bunch of people who wear shoes right underneath the right on top of carpets. Yes, it will be muddy. Weakener Mental is trying to clean up, but Bushies doesn't really care, doesn't really respect them at all, especially fighting inside their own turret diving whenever necessary, because they've got the sustain in the midfielder. They've got this just in case anything happens. But here we go, Big Black Dragon looking for more.
Yeah, Black Dragon form pops here, going right into the backline, trying to find something from Weak on a Mental, but it looks like it's just a distraction for them to take the inhibitor. Now the real world manipulation is out, trying to chunk down the HPs of Bushies. They do get one on the side of Kirby, and it looks like Bushies, they walk away limping from this fight. Bento in dire need of help now, but he does not get that. Instead, he gets slain by Mizu, and now Weak on a Mental, they continue the onslaught. They're trying to get swirly here, down just a little bit of health there, but the regen is enough for him to turn around and get Sanity and TI as well. Triple kill for Bushi as they even this out between the two teams.
Big Mania going over to the side of Bushies. Lots of pickup. You saw how that's Valentina sets up for the side of Weakener Mental, right? Using the Black Dragon form and basically pushing everyone from Weakener Mental to the side. And then Lapu Lapu, this Bento, flickered all the way in. They pick a fight right underneath the turret. There's no way safe for Weakener Mental. Yes, it was a very long drawn out fight. Weakener Mental thought that they had the opportunity, but no. This Valentina has been regenning the iframes of Bushi, coming in so clutch, putting down Weakener Mental at where they stood, cutting them down, slicing them down, literally shing if you guys are big fans of Lancelot. And it's gonna be a very uphill battle to fight because they cannot fight underneath turret. They do have this siege, but their enemy has sieges as well, and it's really hard to do anything for the side of Weakener Mental.
It's extremely hard, honestly, but Bushies, they actually have the opportunity to take the Lord here, then just not going for this objective. If they do take that, it could just be the last push for them to be able to close out the game.
Yeah, Weakener Mental literally already living to their namesakes right now. Not too sure what they'll be able to do. Forsaken, the first target of this pickoff right there. Bushi slays him down, cut him down all the way where he stood. No responses, no form of replies. Weakener Mental, they don't really have any answers to this Valentina. They don't really have any answers to the aggression that Bushi was able to put up. It is a very different ball game that Bushi tossed right at Weakener Mental.
Definitely, and like you said, PSA. This is why you ban out the Valentina. It's
for
insane.
Your own public safety.
Yes, for your own safety. Now, finally, Bushies, they decide to turn their eyes to the Lord, and obviously going to be an uncontested one as Bento just stays up there and, just holds them at bay for a bit. We're gonna wait for the Lord to spawn now, and that would probably just be the final push to end this.
Yep, Bushies, it's not just money bags at this point. It's just XP bags. Just take a look. All these team coming, all the members from the side of Bushies, right? At least 3 to 2 levels ahead of their own counterpart. Weakener Mental, they're gonna send down this Lord all the way in. They'll need to try to defend this Lord. Bushies, on the other hand, they've got very healthy turrets all across the board. Bushies at this rate literally playing with food right now as Weakener Mental has to brace for impact.
Yeah, we're going on with the food analogies, continuing on to day 2, playing with food on dinner table. Right now, Weakener Mental is just being swallowed whole, not even having to chew. Here we go with the Bennett's Rage doing so much damage, Swirly choosing to opt for the Black Dragon form, diving into the backline, Luminum Blast in response, but doesn't connect with anyone. The stuns don't come out, and now Jia, they're trying to engage, trying to defend for this Lord. It's going to be Sanity taken down to more than half of his health with the torn apart memory. Not going to be enough as the real Black Dragon form is popped now, just to try and zone out the members of Bushies, but they're letting the Lord do all the work for them and take out the HP of the core while they go for Mizu in the front line here. Now they're slowly chunking down the health of the core. Jace, they make game 1 finally.
Yes, Bushi's wonderful job right there. I feel like this battle has already won since the first 3 minutes of this whole game. Valentina basically zoning out the turning this Eve into basically a glorified siege minion and constantly getting cut down wherever it is. This Valentina has been really pivotal in terms of the particular game, especially not just this game, right? Even yesterday as well, when Zenka's Kindergarten picking up the Valentina. No wonder they are all constantly banning this new hero that has been popping out in terms of popularity in community tournaments. I think, man, this game would have been very different had we not lifted this ban.
Definitely. And I think that's something that Weakener Mental recognizes for sure. Towards the end, it felt like they, just didn't have the spirit to really keep up the game. I think they knew it was a lost cause. So I'm expecting to see a Valentina ban in the next game.
Oh yeah, they have to. But if you ban off the Valentina, you're opening up to what? The Amon, you're opening up what to the Farsa. I think right now it's not just banning away the Yi, banning away the Farsa anymore, not only just banning away the Estes. I think Valentina is a must ban. Yes, you can ban away these different heroes, but if you have a crucial ultimate that you need your secret weapon, Valentina will just take it away and use it against yourself. And do you have an answer to this? I think that's the most important thing. Do you have an answer to this, Valentina? As of now, even I don't have any answers for you. I'm actually trying to analyze this game, and the only way I could see it is try to stun down this Valentina, because Valentina, yes, can be very scary with these crazy ultimates, but if you find to manage the lockdown, I think she won't be able to use the ultimates that could basically turn this around, especially some ultimates, like, for example, remember we saw that Kufra ultimate that this Valentina stole from the side of Zenka's Kindergarten. You stun her, she's basically dead. She can be squishy as long as you lock her down.
Yep, definitely squishy. And perhaps that was what, Weakener Mental was going for when they picked up the Karina. Unfortunately, I think just didn't kind of it missed the mark, right? It wasn't able to shut down the Valentina enough in the early game. Somehow she still managed to get that aggressive plays in, snowball into the later parts. And it's just tough. Like, when you're drafting, you have to think about, you're not just fighting yourself, you're also fighting, you're not just fighting the enemy, you're just fighting yourself as well.
This is literally a tough decision. I think the only way to do this is to literally permaban this Valentina, right? Yes, even if you want to fight against a Valentina, I'll call you insane, but the only thing you could only try to do is to limit your own ultimate so that your ultimate is not really scary. But if you're doing so, you're basically weakening yourself. So going to game number 2 this time, Bushi's in the lead, already at series point. They will be able to do anything, but it is going to be Weakener Mental having first pick. I'm expecting Bushi's to ban away the Valentina. Instead, Weakener Mental will ban it away instead. Oh no.
Yeah, probably don't want what they did to Weakener Mental to happen on themselves. Actually, Weakener Mental is the one to take this out, I think, Valentina as a first ban. But the question is, what are they going to eliminate next? I mean, if they've taken out one ban, then they just have one choice left.
Yep, so I think Weakener Mental will definitely go and ban the Estes, especially when you're fighting MPL players. They love their Estes, they love their Rafaelas, right? Weakener Mental banning away the Valentina shows that they're not very confident in playing Valentina themselves, so they need to ban this away. And even though they're first pick, because had they banned this, had they not banned it away, Bushi would definitely not ban. Definitely, Bushi's will ban that Valentina. So, forcing Bushi's to waste that ban slot. But Weakener Mental banning away the Valentina, right? Yes, it's a must ban, but it's practically giving it over to Bushi's for free. And now Bushi's will ban the Estes as well. Clint is up for first pick. Whether Weakener Mental will want to take it or not, that is the question.
Yeah, there's also other picks on the table, right? There's Amon and other things that they've banned out as well. Clint is open as well. So they have choices on the board, actually, Weakener Mental. There we go, the Amon first picked by Weakener Mental.
Yeah, Weakener Mental prioritizing the Amon, which is good because the Amon can find himself a very sneaky position. I think if you want to play an Amon, your positioning must be correct. Your positioning must be trying to sneak and flank from the sidelines, abusing the movement speed, and then try to find a clean, try to find, but for this time around, Bushies will go for the Beatrix instead of that clean. Mathilda will follow suit to probably land some shields and heals over to the side of the members of Bushies, but Weaken and Mental will prioritize the Rafaela this time and the Farsa as well.
Yep, ban out the Eve and pick up the Farsa. I like how this is going. Bushies on their side, sticking to their guns for the moment, pun intended. We'll see if they address their draft. Do you think they're just gonna switch out the Valentina pick and go with practically the same one as before?
I would say yes, but I think like something like a mage would do, like a Lunox or even a Kagura, but I feel that the Lunox is a lot better in this sort of draft, but Bushies, they're not going to focus on the mage pick right now. They're going to go straight and pick up the Paquito. This Paquito to the side of Weaken and Mental, right? Could go to the side lane, could go into the jungle because they can't see the battle spells, right? But Bushies, ooh, banning away the Esmeralda. This means the Phobias may make its appearance. Weaken and Mental this time round. They need to start banning away these mages. Or Bushies could bring this Beatrix to the mid lane as well as a mid laner role.
Yeah, so still pretty flexible in terms of Bushies right now. Weaken and Mental going to take out that Yuzhong. I'm actually surprised that, there's a Retry on the side of Bushies. They could have gone into the Lancelot if they're picking up the Farsa on the side of Weaken and Mental.
Yeah, but I mean, as a Paquito, you need to try to win in this early game. Amon is going to take a bit of time as compared to, the Paquito to scale, right? But it is going to be a Khalid being brought into the game this time around from the side of Bushies. Strong early game fighter, and you have this Raging Sandstorm ultimate that could land on top of Farsa, and you can sustain all the damage that you receive. I think this is an interesting pick. I think this could be the answer towards the Farsa. But taking a look at the bans, Weaken and Mental banning away the Yuzhong, which Bushies did not pick up, and Weaken and Mental picking up this Clint and Ruby for themselves.
Yep, Clint and Ruby. So I like that they've added that CC in the form of I'm Offended, able to kind of protect that Farsa as well. It looks like Bushies will go ahead and round up their draft with Sicilian.
Yep, Sicilian long range. A bit awkward, especially when Amon wants to get nice and snuggly with you. Of course, stabbing knives at your back when you're trying to run away. Not really a big fan of the Sicilian pick, but I mean, if Bushies was able to, protect the Sicilian with the Mathilda, I think that should be okay. With the heal as well, they do have the Beatrix that could dish out output quite a lot of damage to try to dissuade this Farsa, right? So remember, I was talking about, hey, maybe the Beatrix could go in the mid lane, but I don't think it will be. It's going to be a Sicilian going to the mid lane instead. It's going to be a Beatrix going up against this Clint. Usually, Clint will win the game.
We'll see whether Sanity gets the better of Swirly in this draft. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is Weaken and Mental versus Bushies. Bushies taking one up against Weaken and Mental in the first game. So it's up to the boys in the blue team to prove themselves this round.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't choke on the water because I was actually taking a sip of water as well when I realized, oh my goodness, is that Swirly Beatrix in the mid lane as well? Rotates over to the orange buff. Dude, Weaken and Mental is going to walk into a very empty jungle.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I would have thought that the Beatrix would swap out, but Sicilian going up against Clint, how does that work though? In the meantime, Smiling just one hit away from falling. Bento on the chase decides to give it up with that flicker burned by him. First blood though, still picked up by Ruby, I believe.
Nice
Ruby
positioning.
also.
Yep, nice positioning coming out from Bushies, right? Swirly cleared the mid lane faster than the Farsa, rotates over to the orange buff. Now Amon will be a little bit stunted. Don't forget, it's also Bushies that pick up the Lethal Wanderer as well. So in terms of the XP department, ouch, it's really hard to see. I literally close and squirm a little bit. But you know, Scrubby Cheeks, you're talking about the top lane matchup, right? Let's take a let me break this down, right? Clint will definitely have to try to play as aggressive as possible, whereas Sicilian will try to fight underneath turret. Just take a look in terms of the wave management, right? Super Yep is actually just fighting underneath, hiding underneath the turret, just giving down bad impact once in a while so that he builds up these stacks. Now, as the late game comes in, he's gonna be a very scary monster. They've got a Khalid as the front line. They've got Bushy to force people in this one little club, and that's where the members could go all the way. And just take a look at the amount of disrespect coming out from side Bushies.
Yeah, the combo going on to both of them now, forcing Weak on a Mental to back, and Farsa just barely making out of that alive. It feels like a bit of a replay from yesterday. Remember, we saw Beatrix and Farsa as well in the mid lane, but again, Smiling in the bottom, just picked up by Swirly Swirl. It's another kill up on Bushi's side, and now they have the chance to take this turtle.
Yeah, I really like the fact that the side of Bushies, they found the answer in this Clint, they found the answer to this Farsa pick as well. We clear faster than the Farsa. We try to take as much objectives in the enemy jungle, try to play the other side of the map, and then we basically steamroll the other side of the maps, right? Just take a look at the amount of rotation that Bushies was able to pick up. We Mental basically playing a little bit scarier, but now they're actually looking at the Sicilian pickup though for the extra going in.
Yes, stand out as well. Super immediately just blown up and deleted off the map. Here comes Kirby though with the circling eagle. Managed to stun out Forsaken, but doesn't look like there will be any follow-up from him. Swirly Swirl just too far away to make any damage off of that.
Yep, Swirly Sword prioritizing the actually picks up a kill in the enemy jungle as well as Forsaken tries to escape back into safety. Clearing off jungle creeps has been the main priority of Bushies all this while. Speaking about game number 1 as well as game number 2, and now this Amon is a little bit stunted. Remember why I said what happens if your jungler is stunted? You get killed. You go into a lane, the Khalid will easily pick you up, and don't forget Khalid has early game priority.
Yep, and it's showing right now. Mizu, he's still at level 5, so really a step behind of Bushi's at the moment, and that's not great for Weak on our Mental. Bushi Bush showing some aggression in the mid lane and just backing out for the moment.
Yeah, there's literally nothing left from the side of Weekend Mental side of the jungle, right? I'm actually very surprised that they didn't really try to. They can't even counter jungle at this rate because Bushi's will have Bushi in his own jungle, whereas Weekend Mental Swirly is basically another jungler, right? Just basically stealing away the jungle from Weekend Mental, putting in an absolute back foot, and here we go again. Instantly getting deleted at the bottom side is Smiling, and Bushi could try to siege up, or no, they're gonna actually try to farm even more heroes, trying to put Weak Mental even further back.
The patience of Swirly Swirl. He was waiting in those bushes for like a lifetime before Smiling finally came out. But right now, Kirby as well, trying to set up a kill on the top onto Forsaken, going deep in the jungle. Maybe some aggression here, but probably not going to make any of it. It's still Mizu being able to take his buff here. A bit of a brawl. They do get the tier 1 turret in the middle to Bushi's.
That's bad news, Scrubby Treeks. The mid lane turret open, and now your jungle is gonna get invaded like no tomorrow. Weekend Mental, they need some privacy settings. I don't think a privacy settings will be able to help. They're getting a lot of these cookies, and here we go. Feather airstrike to zone the members of Bushi's all the way out. Weekend Mental desperately tries to hold on that mid lane bastion.
Yep, and not only the mid lane turret, they also got the bottom tier 1 turret, so they're starting to crack the defenses of Weak on a Mental open right now, and it doesn't look like they have an answer.
Yep, no answers to that at all. Weak on a Mental, all these questions once again left unasked. Weak on a Mental will be able to take down Forsaken for absolutely free as well. Turtle going into the favor of Bushi. This is basically death by 1,000 cuts. Weak on a Mental playing on an absolute back foot once again in game number 2. They need one good I'm offender, but take a look at Smiling. Only level 5. Kirby at level 7 and 8. It's really hard to come back from this.
Indeed, one shot, just one tap, and half of Smiling's health was gone. You just needed Bushi to finish that up. And Smiling, they basically kind of lost their front line already. It's difficult. Where is Jia? They need the healing, but right now it's not going to be enough. Feathered airstrike also still going to lose that mid-tier 2 turret to Bushi's. Like you said, Jace, this is a slow burn. In game 1, they had the death so quick, but now they're slowly chipping at Weak on a Mental.
Yeah, that's the kind of pain. There's two kind of pains I like to classify, but hold on a second. Speaking about pain though, ooh, Forsaken gone for the world once again. Amon desperately trying to run away. Bushi, this boxing guy, just hanging on behind. Mizu tried to outplay a little bit, but he will get deleted. Oh, it's so hard. This is really tough to watch, Scrubby Cheeks.
It's really tough to watch, and Mizu just a little bit in the wrong position, wrong part of town there. Tried to delay as much as he could, but right now it's going to be Bushi's once again taking another kill off of them. Forsaken answers back onto Bento, but I don't think that's enough for them to defend any of this still at this point.
Yeah, let's talk about the Pain right now, but speaking about Pain, chilling, Smiling will be able to drag Bushi all the way into the turret, but nothing will be able to be done because Smiling only level 7, Bushi level 10. 3 level difference means that your skills will be a lot more, does a lot more damage. Just take a look at this random damage coming out from Swirl. Yes, Clint comes in, trying to equalize that damage, but Swirl, oof, a lot of pain.
It's definitely a lot of pain. Jace, we talked about weak on our mental. They did have the Clint, they do have the Farsa as well. It's a little bit of scaling available to them. Is that enough for them to come back into this game?
No, Wuxi does have the Sicilian that's basically has been farming like a truck, right? Yes, that Clint is level 9, but the Sicilian is already level 10, and the Clint actually, the Sicilian scales even harder. You saw that. That is the fruits of labor, just being patient, farming right underneath the turret, and now Bushi's like getting pushed all the way against back into the inhibitor turrets. And let me talk about this. Oh my goodness, I'm smiling. Missing the I'm offended. It's cute for them to enter.
Feathered airstrike to defend that. They do get Bushi. Bush actually 1-for-1 trade so far as Bushi's that forced to back away. They tried to get the inhibitor all on their own just with the creeps, but they weren't successful there. Almost, but they had the feathered airstrike.
Yeah, the feathered airstrike has been pivotal in terms of setting up all these counter ganks, right? Bushi's played a little bit too aggressive earlier just now. They paid the price for it. But yeah, let's talk about the Pain. I was a bit every time when I want to talk about Pain, there's a fight happening. So the Pain is this. You rather have an instant death or you want death by 1,000 cuts. It feels like weaker than Bento. This game is basically that death by the 1,000 cuts. And now Bento tries to pick up a fight. 1v4 happening right now.
They do pick up Swirly Swirl though, so they get the damage. They're trying to put some on Bento, but the Pain is enough to take him out. They trade out Smiling for that, but still weak on a mental. It's just a little bit of a consolation prize for them.
Consolation prize? Yes. But in terms of that lead and map dominance, it's still not there. Yes, Weakener Mental takes down 2 members on the side of Bushi's, but they're still forced to farm right underneath their own turret. And we know, in game number 1, your own turret is not safe enough. I think as Weakener Mental is basically fighting backwards, a bit of like a slow retreat back into the safety of their own base, Bushi is out and about farming, getting more gold lead. Don't forget that Sicilian is probably going to get as much stacks to its heart's content, full mana, and they're ready to fight anytime they want.
Yep, you can see their ultimates already up. Super aggressive positioning. Bushi gets taken out by the feathered airstrike. It's going to be Jia picking up the credit for that. They're down 1 member each. No one has the numbers advantage on either side. But Swirly Swirl just busted up here by Mizu Bento. He gets the revenge onto Weak on a mental. But is it going to be enough? Bushi's, they're still trying to aggress on the mid inhibitor turret. But right now, I think they're just going to take a break. They do have the Lord up, so can actually use that to their advantage to make this push.
Yeah, we got that mental. At least they do have that, high ground with this, with not the Sicilian, with the Farsa and this Clint, right? And don't forget, if Bushi's were to actually try to fight underneath these turrets again and again, they're gonna eat free feather airstrikes. They're gonna eat free passive shots coming out from Sanity. They also may get hooked all the way underneath their turret. Smiling needs to pull off a wonderful I'm offended, and they need to coordinate all their skills right. Finally, we gonna mental. Breathing the jungle air just a little bit because Bushi is actually at the Lord Pit. It's up to Weakener Mental if they really want the contest for this.
They do have the feathered airstrike up to be able to make this, but doesn't look like they're gonna do anything about it. Lord still goes the way of Bushi. Smiling, taking some damage. They're backing out, but it's not gonna be fast enough. Sanity taking so much damage. Here comes the Bat Feast, doing enough to take out Smiling. Their front line is gone. Weak on a mental again, defending on their hind legs, but this time, Bushi's, they have the Lord along with them. It's a 6-member team crashing down the mid inhibitor turret here. Bento taking a lot of damage, stunned out, and it looks like he will be taken down by Mizu, but they have enough members on Bushi's to still push this over. But they have Mythical, they have something to say about it. It's the feathered airstrike again that's gonna end the fight.
Yes, Fede Astra has been very crucial in all these defenses, but their defenses are slowly getting chipped away. Weakener mental. Taking out Bento has been very good, right? You don't really have any front lines anymore, but Bushi's slowly losing a little bit patience, overextending just a little bit more. If you take a look how Bushi's positioning, they have to be very careful. Yes, they have a lot of these damage, but Weakener Mental has the utility. They have these big crucial ultimates, but Bushi's will be able to crack open the top side once again.
Whoa, the endless shards just almost getting the better of Super over here, but Bushi's, they crack open entirely the bases of Weakener Mental. It is down to the core. I'm not sure how long they can last. That's the only thing standing, and they just have to defend it.
Yep, taking a look at the gold lead as well, strongly in the favor of Bushi's, but Weakener Mental, they do have that comeback mechanic, which is the Clint and the Sparsa. This Clint hasn't lost a lot. It's a 3-1-3 in terms of the score. Going straight into the BOD as well, they need as much damage as possible to be able to burst down not only just the Khalid, right? It's also Bushi that tries to fight towards you. So now Weakener Mental has to slowly fight back, but positioning has been key, will need to be key, because Smiling will give himself all the way back into Bushi's arms.
Smiling way too far ahead there, doesn't get anything before he gets taken out by Bushi's here. And right now, Bushi's again playing off of the high ground. Bat's Feast was enough to do some damage, but it looks like they will be waiting around the edge here for the creeps. Just hanging around, waiting for them to go in before they make the final push. Don't need a Lord, I think. Feathered Airstrike, though, again with the defenses. Kirby goes in with the Circling Eagle without anything, takes too much damage. The credit's gonna go to Sanity here. Bushi's, they're having some trouble closing out this game.
Yeah, they have to fit Airstrike. It's Raging Sandstorm. Bento will be jumping all the way in. Claw will be able to claw Sanity all the way, but Sanity is outputting so much damage. Bento falls, and now Sicilian may find himself in a bit of trouble, forced to flicker all the way out. Sandy tries to chase, will not be able to find this Sicilian. And once again, Bushi, they ran out of patience. Weakener Mental fights back, and they're not going to go down without a fight.
It's been one big fight so far. Weakener Mental, we talked about the death by 1,000 cuts, but even so badly battered and injured, they're putting up such great defenses, and really it's down to this Feathered Airstrike that Forsaken has been using on point, and just being able to take out the kills, put up the defenses that they need so far.
Yeah, Sanity has been making God's work for Weakener Mental, right? That has been very crucial in picking up and identifying all these targets. Forsaken at this rate is just basically this long-range artillery strike, but it is mostly the Clint that deals this killing blow. Remember, I talk about this. Mizu, as this aimer, needs to find these good angles, because if he were to fight a fight head-on, he's definitely going to get deleted. Now, Smiling, his positioning has been a bit questionable, because take a look. Getting free pot shots by the side of Bushi is not very good, because if you're low, you have to go back to base, and if you go back to base, you may not be there in time for this fight. Now, Weakener Mental will be very busy trying to defend as Bushi, they're just gonna walk over to this Lord and take this up for themselves.
Yeah, definitely going for free the way of Bushi, so it's again up to Weakener Mental to defend themselves from this one. You talk about Smiling's positioning. I feel like this has been, since the early game, the I'm Offended has been hitting, but there's no follow-up, and now it's down to the positioning added to that, and they just can't get the team fights that they need.
Yeah, I think Ruby needs to start building more tankier than this is. Just taking a look at the health bars is not really enough. In fact, you're on the same you have the same amount of HP as that Clint, and you dare to walk all the way up like this and take 3 pot shots like this from the side of Bushi's. That is not very effective. Now, they need the side Weakener Mental once again has to be braced. Let's take a look at the checks. All ultimates are up as the Lord is slowly encroaching to the side of Weakener Mental. Big bombs going in, Feather Airstrike going out.
All the bombs, like you said, Chase, are going in right now. It's going to be 2 already down, and with a blink of an eye, Weakener Mental, they are taken out of this game.
Taking out this game and this tournament as well. Don't forget, this is a best of 3 single elimination. They lost game number 1 and they will lose game number 2. Congratulations over to Bushi's, right? Setting up so well. Game number 1 was the Valentina. Game number 2, I felt it's just that Swirled knows how to use this Beatrix in the mid lane. I take down, I part push mid lane, I rotate. I rotate not towards the side lanes though. I'm rotating towards the enemy jungle. I starve up Amon. Amon wasn't able to do enough damage and was a little bit stunted in the growth, wasn't able to farm. He walks all the way into an empty jungle, and that is basically full stop over to the side of Weaken Our Mentals in order to bring this back, bring this game back. Yes, they have the far side. Yes, they have the clean. The comeback mechanism was there, but Bushi's, this Sicilian has been their hidden weapon, basically like a hidden blade, just waiting to strike. And of course, when the late game comes out, they unsheath it and basically stab Weaken Our Mental right at the back.
Yeah, and the thing is, they know exactly where to stab, and Weaken Our Mental doesn't help much with their positioning, like you mentioned, smiling it in the wrong place at the wrong time, and when you're down one member, it's just so hard to be able to come back from that. But still, very great defense, and of course, very great fight put up by Weaken Our Mental up against this strong team. So congratulations again. And before we go into the next series, we're gonna go into a short break. So take some stretches, get some water for yourself, and we'll be right back with you after the break.
What if I told you a mouse was designed by a YouTuber? Probably just to cash grab, right? But what if I told you that YouTuber built their channel on reviewing mice? Has over 250 gaming mice in his house, 150 mouse reviews on the channel, and over 22 years experience in first-person shooters. Yeah, this isn't a cash grab. This is about taking mice to that next step. I started the Rocket Jump Ninja YouTube channel because I realized I aimed better with certain mice. And others did too. Mice have come a long way in that time. Performance is amazing, but there's still one thing that's being neglected. And when it comes to aim, shape is king. I've spent the last year testing my theories on design, and my aim has never been better. So here it is. My experience, my creation. The Xtrfy MZ1, Zeiss Rail.
Stop wasting time on sharing reviews on social media without being recognized by the brand you support. You&Me mobile app is a social media e-commerce platform that values consumers' reviews and recommendations with loyalty rewards for products and services you care about. Our 8-app integrated news feed allows consumers to see recommendations based on their interests and be inspired by good buys shared by other users in the community. On the review page, consumers can explore and participate in campaigns by creating creative content reviews of their favorite brands, tag the products that they recommend, and enjoy the satisfaction that comes from becoming co-creators of brand values. We value each reviews and recommendations with loyalty points that can be applied towards their next purchase or be converted into cash rewards. Consumers, you hold the key to a brand's growth and reputation. Your trust, enthusiasm, and patronage should be appreciated and rewarded. Be part of You&Me's word-of-mouth movement now. Share the good, good to share.
I want to extend our warmest welcome to you on behalf of Apple and on behalf of M1.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Asia Esports Festival X Comic Con MLBB Community Tournament, organized by Esports Entertainment Asia, or EEA for short, and Comic Con. Now, we're supported by Bell's Academic Group, BuiltTech, Excel Games, M1, Monster Cat, Mountain Dew, OSIM, Safra, Scorpio Electric, Sure, Yumi Sushi, and You at Me. Jays, we just had an intense series between in the round one, and right now we're going into the quarterfinals.
Yep, pretty excited because not game number one, but series number one has been a banger of a game. Bushi's showing basically how to be very aggressive, especially early game, could deliver you the win. Also sends out a bit of a PSA for your own personal safety, ban away the Valentina. And of course, Zenka Kindergarten will be going up next against Juice P. Zenka Kindergarten, wow, they also did quite well in terms of their aggression. So really looking forward to both these two teams really duking it out closer and closer as we, finalize this series, the brackets. But of course, this is like what, a semifinals as you mentioned?
Quarterfinals.
No, quarterfinals. That's right. So
Yeah.
quarterfinals. So we see a long way to go, and of course, I don't know. Ads actually, when I say ads, I usually get bought into the ads myself, and I just had just thinking about getting sushi for myself. But of course, going into game number one of Zenka Kindergarten, taking out all the crayons as well, Juice P needs to find an answer to this Valentina. Now, if they paid attention in class, they need to ban this Valentina. Prioritizing the Ammon ban right now. I think Zenka Kindergarten will be the one that bans Valentina. There we go.
There we go, Valentina. Not gonna see that as well as the Amon. Even though the Amon wasn't that great in the last game, like you said, needs a bit of a runway to be able to make it work.
Yeah, so GSP, I think Amon is just one of the meta bans, right? I think they need to also ban away the Estes because Zenka Kindergarten will take it and they basically run away with it. But instead, they'll be focusing down the Brody. Zenka Kindergarten could just, okay, you're gonna respond with a Brody ban. I think they will prioritize the Estes ban themselves, not going to give it over to them. I feel like Zenka's Kindergarten, they're very comfortable. They know how to deal with this Clin. You just have to prioritize the top side, the gold lane. Put a lot of pressure on him. He can't farm, he can't scale. He's close. But Juice P, though, first picking, hovering over this Eve, they will forfeit this Clin first pick and give it over to side of Zenka Kindergarten. But, I forgot the Nathan.
Forgot about the naked, but you did get the Estes guess correct, Jay. So don't be too sad about that. You got 1 out of 2. Gonna be the Estes and Nathan picked up. In response, it looks like Juice P's gonna hover over the Beatrix.
I think that's like what you mean, like 1 out of 2 is like 50% score. That's basically almost borderline pass, right? Okay, but Juice P hovering over this Beatrix, this shows that they may not be very comfortable with this Clin. So I think Zenka Kindergarten will definitely take notes about this. And now Ruby will be picked up as well from the side of Juice P. I think Ruby a little, no offense, but I feel like it's hyped up a little bit too much. If you notice Zenka Kindergarten and even by the side of the previous team, Bushi's, right? They don't really prioritize the Ruby ban or Ruby picks at all. They're gonna let the enemies make a run away with the money. We saw how practically, not say useless, but ineffective against the draft, especially when you're going up against Bushi's and Zenka Kindergarten. But let's take a look at the bans. Yuzhong getting banned away for their own Farsal once again. And of course, shout out to Sinon, by the way. How dare you go change your IGN without telling me? And of course, up to Juice P to ban right now. Yes, they will need to ban away that Clint.
Yep, took away the Clint, and right now Minions hovering over Lapu. Still missing a core here. We did see Beiju play the Lancelot in previous games, if I'm not wrong.
I think we've seen the Lancelot pick before, especially when you go up against GSP. But looking at the Harvest right now, I like what I like GSP hovering against with the Esmeralda and the Roger. There's a bit of effectiveness going in. It feels like Zenka Kindergarten, they will go straight for the Bane. A lot of burst damage going into the play. And of course, now Nathan will be going into the gold lane instead. Clint absolutely forgotten, takes put into the trash. But now, I feel like GSP, they need a lot more burst damage. And it all boils down to this Beatrix to set it up. Because Roger requires bit of a damage. You need to start going to the like compounds when they're only half HP. If not, there's no way for Roger to go on in. So I believe Ruby needs to play its role very well here in order to get a I'm offended hook off, a flicker, I'm offended hook, but win conditions very hard to achieve, right? But let's go into game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Zenka Kindergarten, in not say are currently in the lead, they are very experienced team in the red, going up against Juice P, what part of the community as well. But I mean, kudos for them making thus far. Zenka Kindergarten definitely the favorite team right here. I'm not going to show any politically correctness on my side. I am very biased.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you meant favored by you or favored by the community in general there, Jace.
I mean, Zenka Kindergarten, I mean, there's a reason why, these pro teams, right? They're basically of an entirely different breed. Yesterday, we saw Zenka Kindergarten going up against Conqueror, totally different game. They're constantly getting invaded, a very aggressive team. Yes, we talk about, Conqueror being aggressive, especially towards Lunatics, but they are not. Zenka Kindergarten put them where they should be. And of course, we mentioned about Bushi, right? Bushi's just literally won in the early game and scaled out of control in the late game.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, right, pro teams, they have the ability to do just that because they're so aware of their roles and how they play it. Right now, though, Milim, look at his health, still pushing up just right almost at the edge of the turret here, going to be punished for that toffee doggy with the spin to wins. It's gonna be Juice P that picks up the first blood.
Okay, this is gonna be very good going into the side of Juice P, right? Beatrix does a lot of damage in the early game. I think Milim tried to juke it all the way out, but don't forget, look at Beatrix's emblem. He's not going to go in the conventional assassin emblem. He's going to go for the marksman, so he's going to hit like a truck, going to have more attack speed, more lifesteal as well, has better sustain. And yes, Zenka Kindergarten has the Estes bodyguard at the top side, but that is not going to be enough, unfortunately.
And I think that plays into what you said. When they need the damage, Ruby sets it up. They need some damage, and Choo Choo on the Beatrix with the emblem can do exactly that. Bubble Tea will be there for the cleanup, but right now it's gonna be a kill on the side of Zenka Kindergarten onto Choo Choo.
Yep, more action happening on the top side. Deadly Catch will be activated as well. Flicker will be used by Doggy as well. We'll be able to get all the way out, but this is the power of the Bane. You use the Deadly Catch, you force the members all the way out, and then try to push down this turret. Now, Juice P, nice trade going on right there. We'll be able to pick up not only just trying to shove and defend, they pick up the turtle for themselves, but they'll lose one member, unfortunately.
They lose one member, and we're gonna see how Bubble Tea makes the best of this turtle buff right now. But Zenka, they're definitely up and running. They have the lead now, about 1,000 gold ahead of Juice P, and it's a really scary composition, right? If you look at the draft here, you have the Lapu Lapu with the dives, you have the Fasa with the feathered airstrike, and then the Bane with the deadly catch. So it's just damage all around together with the Estes healing.
Yeah, so I'm kind of worried about Juice P, right? I would swap out this Esmeralda, because Esmeralda, your main role is to try to flank and try to sustain as long as possible as you spread shields and damage all across the board. But here we go, Feather Airstrike going in.
Yeah, and already Milling trading up some damage. It's gonna force Toffee Doggy back into the base right now. No kills across the board so far, but they definitely gain more control of the map.
Yep, speaking about gaining control, lane swapping, a very nice choice coming off from Zenka Kindergarten, pushing the Nathan all the way down to the bottom side, and going to use Nathan scaling mechanism and try to push it down. And look at this, Zenka's Kindergarten is playing like they're late for a wedding.
Late for a wedding? Well, I don't know who they're getting married to at this point, but it's gonna be the turret that's taken down on the bottom side. Tier 1 down onto Juice B. Zenker slowly chipping away at the defenses of the blue team.
Yeah, speaking about wedding, if I'm not mistaken, I think the co-founder of Explorer is having its wedding right now. I saw it on KZP's Instagram. So yeah, they are literally late for the wedding. Oh, I'm not too sure whether they're invited. But the point is, let's focus about this game right now. Feather Airstrike going in. Miracle is dead and got no miracles for him right now. Bubble Tea tries to flank, but not enough damage. This is a Roger without any peel once again. Zenka Kindergarten, they are on the roll right here, rotating all the way to the mid lane again. In terms of these lane swaps, has been very on point.
Bennett's rage to zone them out for a bit, but Choo Choo takes too much damage, has to back off for the defense. On top of that, Zenka Kindergarten to get the second turtle of the game, another lead, now up 2k ahead of Juice P.
Yep, 2K is quite a good lead, I would say, especially towards in the early game. But, Zenka Kindergarten, they have map dominance, taking down top side, taking down bot side. They try to take mid. Mid is usually the hardest to crack because that's where most of these teams will be able to rotate all the way in. And Trophy going in as well. I'm offended looking at it, but it's not going to be connecting at all. Milliam dishing out so much damage, putting Toffee Doggy all the way down into the ground. And now Zenka Kindergarten will take the top side, so absolutely free once again.
They found Choo Choo in the bush, and immediately Toffee Doggy tried to go to the rescue, but sacrificed himself instead. Didn't even use I'm offended, because why would you drag them into the tower right now? It's like that ultimate isn't to their advantage.
Yeah, even if you drag the members of members of Zenka Kindergarten underneath the turret, Choo Choo is way too weak to fight, right? So I like this. I like this positioning. I like this decision. But Toffee Doggy, if you draft a Ruby specifically for this I'm offended, right? If you don't use it, that's one of your win conditions that you wouldn't be able to commit.
He used it right now, but defensively, as the real world manipulation is up to dish out the damage. Will it be enough? Juice B actually takes even more damage than he's put out, but doesn't go down for the moment. It's gonna be Mythical. That's the target. Now one more hit will do the trick. Chase out by Bubble Tea, and he picks up the kill, runs away immediately, and gets away scot-free.
Yeah, Juice P, really nice engage right there. That's one of their win conditions, right? Use I'm offended, chunk down some members of Zenka Kindergarten. While they're so weak, they're trying to run away. Bubble Tea, the janitor, will rush in and pick up one person as he goes all the way out. So nice engage there, fighting. You can see Zenka Kindergarten trying to fight, artillery fire with artillery fire, but it is still Juice P that won in terms of the damage department. So
just off the edge of that steady, gets the feathered airstrike damage onto Bubble Tea to blow his head off. And now Zenka Kindergarten gonna get this turtle for free.
Yeah, I'm like a little bit confused right there. I was like, okay, this feathered airstrike going in. I don't think Roger will die, but no, it's the passive coming out from Steady Pump PP that actually picked his head all the way out. Zenka Kindergarten still in the driver's seat in terms of this map dominance and the gold right now. Juice P has played a bit aggressively. They try to put up a good fight, but Zenka Kindergarten is slowly cracking open Juice P's defenses.
Again, this is what they did to Conqueror. They're choking them out right now. Stunned out is Juice P immediately just obliterated from the map. They don't have the damage and the zoning that they need, but the creeps are rushing in now to the mid tier 2 turret on the side though. Mythical trying to dive them and gets punished for it. Mythical in trouble. Deadly Catch managed to catch him. Bubble Tea now on the run. Legs between his limbs between his tails, but nowhere to go except back to the base.
Yeah, unfortunately, we go into the death timer. This death timer is gonna hurt, right? Because Zenka Kindergarten will take even more. Feather Airstrike will be used once again to zone out the members of Juice P, but it's just only one siege minion that is in the lead. But Zenka will dive, though.
Deadly Catch used for some damage on the turret as well as to zone them. Zenker too deep in, gets picked up by Juice P, and they have the defense now. They do get that bit inhibited turret, so still a win for Zenka Kindergarten.
Yeah, Zenka Kindergarten right now, like I said, they're playing as if they're late for a wedding, right? Like, literally sacrificing Zenka just to push down one turret. It's worth it, yes, as we see Yves gets blasted from the sky. But the point is, Zenka Kindergarten, they are really rushing to end this game before 10 minutes.
You never know, Jace. They might actually be at the wedding right now and they're playing during the wedding. So trying to end the game as fast as possible. The Lord is gonna come up in 13 seconds now. So this could be the push that they're looking for.
Yep, I think Zenka Kindergarten, literally what you said, right? I'm totally imagining this. Wait, the groom and bride wants to yam-sang me, but wait, I'm in the tournament, I'll be right back with you. And they're like, okay, I'll come back. And you can see the next table, they're literally coming towards you right now and they're rushing to end.
Oh, it could help if they're playing at the same table, you know, it helps the communication, I guess. Yeah, but right now, Zenka Kindergarten starting up the Lord Juice P. They're not in any position to contest this, and it goes for free to Zenka Kindergarten.
Yep, Juice P unable to do anything at all. No cross-map plays coming out from their side as well. They have to watch silently in the trees, standing cowardly against and watch that Lord taken down.
And this is the respect for Steady's Feathered Airstrike, right? 601. The amount of damage and zone that he's able to control is just incredible, and it's so hard for Juice P to deal with.
Yeah, and I was literally listening to the song earlier just now, and I literally blurted out the lyrics out of my head, and it works so well in this scenario. If you guys know this song, give me a shout out because I would love to see you right now and give you a big hug. Of course, I'm vaccinated, so it's fine. But the point is, Zenka Kindergarten will be sending the Lord all the way down to the bottom side, and look at the way they sync up the waves once again. Really want to look for this victory, especially before 10 minutes. It's up to this fight and whether Juice P will actually accept this.
A three-way siege already. Deadly catch used on the top inhibitor turret. Miracle chunked down to less than half HP. Now Zenker diving in with the bravest fighter. Does not connect, but bullets in again to get the kill on to Toffee Doggy. First one to go. Miracle does get a revenge kill onto him, but is that enough right now for them to defend? Feathered Airstrike was used to chunk down some of the defenses. Mid inhibitor has been cracked open. Bottom inhibitor has been cracked open. Zenker Kindergarten, they're on to the last leg of this offense now, and Juice P is all up to them to defend it, but the creeps, the Bennett's range gets it, but is it enough to be able to defend it? The Feathered Airstrike comes in to be able to start putting out some damage. Here we go, Millen with a double kill, and the deadly catches up. The core is slowly being chunked down, and they finish it up. Zenker Kindergarten with the first win.
Zenker Kindergarten finished off the first win just in time to give that Yamseng back to the bridegroom as well. I don't know, I'm overplaying this analogy, but GG, well played. Over to the side of Zenker Kindergarten, they identified all these pickups. They were so aggressive in terms of taking down turrets. This time around, they're not really aggressive in the enemy jungle, but in these different lanes. And now I would say, taking a look at Juice P's side of the composition, you don't see Bubble Tea doing a lot of damage because there's not enough peel. If you want to drop a Roger in, you need big, mega bursty damage. Try to try to dish out the damage enough for this Roger to come online. And this Roger wasn't able to come online because of this, and I think that's just a domino effect, because if you want to, I would say a good pairing for Roger in terms of these between a mage between Yves and Farsa, I prefer the Farsa because one feather airstrike enough to chunk down a quarter or maybe half HP, and that's basically Q for this Roger to just pounce on top of you and just dish it all the way down. That Yves, yes, the real world manipulation does a lot of damage, but I prefer it like a utility, like just try to slow burn the enemies down and whittle them down. Just take a look at the build paths of these two mages, right? As a Farsa, you want to go straight in with the Cloud of Destiny and then go straight to the Holy Crystal, if possible. Sorry, Lightning Truncheon Holy Crystal. But for a Yves, you build a Ice Queen 1. That's COD first and Ice Queen 1 because you want to amplify that slow. So that Yves more on the utility artillery mage and not doing very well if they want to use Roger as the core.
Yeah, not able to make use of that Roger. And that's not to mention that Farsa also has the mobility over Yves, right? Yeah, so you can get yourself out of sticky situations. Also difficult for Roger to be able to catch the Farsa as opposed to the Yves. So I think all around, it's also kudos to Zenka Kindergarten for drafting just the perfect one. Like, honestly, when I looked at that draft, it was scary, right? You have so much dive, you have so much zoning capabilities, and then you have an Estes to heal you. Like, how do you die?
Well, they almost did. You remember that fight at the bottom side where Juice P actually won? I think Zenka Kindergarten went a little bit into deep. I think the most important thing is whether you want to set it up. They do have the Lapu Lapu to basically frontline it, but I'm really glad that Juice P actually had find enough damage to start to shut down Zenka Kindergarten. But unfortunately, one good fight is not enough. You need multiple good fights in your favor in order to climb all the way back, especially when you're put so far behind in the early to mid game. Don't forget, top side was down so quick, and that is the problem if your enemy drafts a Bane. A Bane would want to not try to dive you in the enemy jungle, try to counter jungle. You're not supposed to do the damage, by the way. You're supposed to use the deadly catch to zone the members of Juice P and then take down your turrets one at a time. If you notice the lane swap, I mean, if you want to write a thesis about laning, about what you should do as a laner, This game is your main source. You saw how Zenka Kindergarten, right? Take down top side, I go rotate bottom side. I rotate bottom side, they rotate to the mid. I couldn't take down mid, by the way, so what do? I go all the way up to top side, push that all the way down, and push their advantage even further.
Yeah, but right now, what we're gonna see, where we're gonna go is into the next game, game number 2, match point at Zenka Kindergarten. See if Juice can come back, especially in this drafting phase. Now, Zenka Kindergarten gonna take out the Nathan actually. What Milim was playing in the previous round, but looks like they're choosing to ban that out, and Juice, of course, with the Valentina ban.
Yep. Kudos to him. A+ for doing your homework and submitting on time. Banning away the Valentina has been very crucial for these Zenka Kindergarten as well as Bushi's coming in, right? But now Zenka Kindergarten, I think that could limit against the Estes as well. But maybe they want the first pick. In fact, they're going to be banning away the Paquito once again. Yes, it's the flavor of the last month. It's a little bit retro right now, the flared jeans. Yeah, that's basically the Paquito, but Juice will be banning away that Eve. What is Zenka's first pick?
It's interesting that they banned out the Eve. I mean, they were the ones who used it in the previous round, and doing so let the Aemon go, but actually Zenka opting to go for the Estes instead.
I mean, Estes is so easy to use, right? What do you do during team fights? You press one button and you almost win the game. Well, of course, you make sure that you spread all the heals all across the board. You try to slow people down. But I mean,
okay, you press 2 buttons.
Okay, fine. Press 2 buttons, all right. And then you just walk around and become this portable fountain. It has been one of the secret ingredients in most of these pro teams in terms of winning. And now Juice will draft this midfielder in and Beatrix once again. They need to play aggressive if they really want to play with this sort of draft.
Definitely need to try to play aggressive. Zenka, they're actually hovering over a Fanny now. I'm not sure if they're gonna lock that in. That would be quite interesting to see. But Choo going for the same Beatrix, I think definitely has to be able to make something that syncs up well with the Beatrix as well. Because in the previous games, Ruby just didn't quite make the cut.
Yeah, I think it's like what I mentioned, right? These teams, Bushi's and Zenka Kindergarten, they literally give away the Ruby. They're not afraid, almost on the level of pure disrespect. Because yes, if the Ruby is gonna get chunked down so quickly, if you panic, you're unable to land down the hook. Like I said, it's a very tough winning condition to hit. As you compare that to Estes, how do you win? What is your win condition? You click one button, and that's all. That's about it.
Gonna go for the Loi though on the side of Juice. Haven't seen Loi in a while. Great burst damage, and I guess if they can use the setups properly, that might actually be advantages to them in setting up fights even better this time around.
Yeah, I love this Loi pick coming out from Juice. Remember what I said about Estes? Your win condition, heal, and spread a hit to as many people as possible. And what do you do to prevent that? You force SMM regulations on it. You force them to stay at least 1 meter apart because you're going to get so much burst damage whenever you stick together. And now Zenka Kindergarten, they have to find another way to spread all these heals, because if they were to stick around Estes, they're going to get this Loi will spread free damage all across the board. Zenka Kindergarten picks up this Cho once again. I would say it's definitely going to be an offlane Cho, but it is going to be a Lunox being drafted over the side of Juice. If you guys are watching M3, you would know this is pretty suspicious, right?
But for the side of the Zenka's jungle, it's gonna be the YSS coupled with them. They did pick up once again the Farsa, so I'm surprised Juice chose to take out the Eve instead of the Farsa, seeing as how Steady was so steady, if you will, with the hands on the feathered airstrike in the last round.
Yeah, and now Juice this last pick is gonna set it up, right? Look at all the draft. It's really, really paper. They need someone slightly tankier, and there we have it. It's going to be a Balman going into the jungle. That's correct. Lunox will be going into the off lane?
Yeah. Well, it depends. It's flexible, right? Beatrix could go into the gold, could go into the mid lane as well.
Yeah.
And if, like we saw previously, clears faster than Farsa, could be advantages for them.
Yeah, and you do have this, not say level 2 power spike. You have a level 1 power spike because I've seen Lunox picking up fights at level 1. All they have to do is spam the first skill, the light in the light form, and they get so much heal and they get so much damage over time. You're definitely gonna run out of steam in terms of the damage. But ladies and gentlemen, onto the land of Dawn we go. This is game number 2 of Zenka Kindergarten in the blue, going up against Juice P in the red. Farsa in the mid lane. You have a Lunox in the XP lane going up against this Cho. It's going to be a battle of who hits level 4 first.
We'll see how they decide to go, but it looks like it's going to be Beatrix up against Amon instead of in the mid lane. How does this matchup work for you?
I would say for Balban is very snowbally, right? It gets very crazy. It's like a cleanse, but with slight tankiness and a lot of comeback mechanism, and you do have a double retribution. So Juice P, I think they need to play towards the late game, but lots of damage being dealt with against Mythical, and off the side of the map, this Amon is gonna have a very good time finding Beatrix right in the grave.
Yep, Beatrix Choo once again, I think in the last game as well, fell as first blood. Unfortunately, not having a great day today. No. And we know Zenka, or at least we suspect Zenka wants to close out the game as fast as they can as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat coming up from the side of Reckless Rock, by the way. He's someone from Impunity as well, and he's saying that they are at Jay-Z's wedding. Okay, pretty happy for them. Wait, the last time I thought he's with Beyonce. Am I correct?
Beyonce?
I'm very late with all this celebrity talks, right? But the point is, taking a look at this game, the pacing of this game right now, Zenka will have a lot of priority at the top side because this is a Beatrix going up against an assassin. Not very ideal. And don't forget, Zenka's passive allows him to heal as well with the YSS. Oh, okay. Nice gang coming out from the side of Mathilda though, but Zenka's Kindergarten, they would want to pick up this fight.
Yeah, very smart rotation coming from both teams. Juice P trying to get something, but Zenka responds in kind and mirrors that rotation. Right now, they're down to the bottom, the middle lane. Trying to find a pick-off possibly onto Zenka Kindergarten and steal a jungle. A little bit damage onto Nino. Has to burn the flicker to get away and just misses the mark, but Nino will be able to escape. And Juice P, they're now aggressing on the turtle.
Good aggression coming out from Juice P right now, showing Zenka Kindergarten who is the big bad bully in the schoolyard, but it's going to be Milim. Oh, nice, the Weight of Dragon will be able to pick up Toffee Doggy all the way in, and it's going to be a nice pick-off coming up inside Juice P. It is the YS that falls, giving the turtle over to Juice P. This is not looking good for Zenka Kindergarten for the very first time in this tournament.
Yeah, it's different to see them play on the uncomfortable side of things, Zenka. Maybe the wedding getting a bit, maybe a wedding gets exciting, right? And you want to participate, so losing a bit of steam there. But right now, Mountain Shocker popped topside. Gonna see the vision on 3 members of Juice P and Nino there for the backup, but doesn't look like they might engage just yet.
Yeah, Choo looking a little bit low as well. Mid lanes will be the priority of the contest right now. Feather Airstrike will be activated, and alongside with YSS, another day in the office, Toffee Doggy will go down. But Milim has been doing a wonderful job against Mythical. Actually, I was thinking that the Lunox may have the priority here, but Milim is not letting up.
Definitely not. As you see, he's going ham onto Mythical with the knockup, and they're trading out blows at this point, but Mythical gets more damage onto him, but he manages to get away on the map though. Beichu, he's just nearby lurking. Can they find him? Brilliance is popped, but he gets the kill onto Milim before he goes down himself. Beichu taking the kill, and now he's trying to get away. Doesn't look like Juice P will be able to pick this one off.
Yeah, I mean, nice ganks coming out from both of these two teams. Zenka Kindergarten at the right place at the right time. Mythical, massive outplay right there, going into the Brilliance form to basically, juke the member of Zenka's Kindergarten all the way out. But Zenka Kindergarten still picks up that kill for now. Topside looking a little bit dicey for Zenka Kindergarten. Now, with the Balban going in, Juice P is not letting up, and he's trying to look for Choo be able to
pull the endless shards. This is why you ban Aima now. It's so difficult to deal with those endless shards, but right now they do manage to find a return kill onto him with the circling eagle, puts him in a casket, and Zenka 1 kill down.
Yeah, I think Juice P doesn't really need to ban away the Aemon, because you saw how Aemon in the gold lane, yes, very susceptible to these different ganks, but here we go. A nice heal coming out. The steady will force the wing by wings to disengage. Milim catches Bauman though.
Yep, in the way of the dragon is enough to knock him up, stun him out, and take him out. The turtle now being contested. Milim, the healing isn't enough for him, and he is sent back to the base as well. It's gonna be Zenker turning this around and getting the turtle for themselves.
Yeah, this is not a very comfortable lead for Zenka Kindergarten, if you ask me. GSP, they're making good plays all across the map. Mythical is starting to put up wonderful fights, right, with the Lunox, because she has the mid game and late game priority. And don't forget, GSP, this Bauman will scale out of control if you constantly let Bubble Tea get away with these fights. This counter strike going in with the ultimate, and you've also got the retribution as well. That's basically a double retribution. So Zenka Kindergarten has to start respecting. Don't forget, this Loi also does a lot of damage, especially in these drawn out fights.
Yep, Bennett's rage now popped Dust Steady down to half his health. Domain of the Moon Goddess is not enough to slow him. They get the kill onto Choo Choo instead. And now they're trading blows. Steady in dire health now. Bubble Tea is here for the backup. Manages to pick one. Actually, no, doesn't. It's just one kill on the side of Juice P.
As this healing has been very pivotal right now. Lots of fights happening all across the board. Both these two teams fighting for their lives. I would say trading blows for blows. Zenka Kindergarten will lose Amon as Milim going hand ham against Mythical. Mythical goes into the Brilliance form as well. Just needs a Chaos Ultimate, but there will be not enough steam. Probably on cooldown right now, so Mythical will force to let out this fight.
Mythical has been holding his form extremely well. Milim being so aggressive, but somehow still being able to. But now the Mountain Shocker is being laid down for that damage. The Caster's Curse, and Milim takes him out.
But I would say Mythical has been playing really well on this Lunox. If this goes into game number 3, I think a respect ban should be given over to the side of Myricle's Lunox, but it's a gang happening at the bottom side.
Response on Milim's kill, and its revenge puts him in a coffin. Juice P, they're up now to 7 kills against 9 kills on Zenker Kindergarten. They barely have a gap. Zenker Kindergarten, this is not a comfortable space for them to be in.
Yep, not a very comfortable space, and Zenker Kindergarten identifies it. Gonna be trading the top side for the bottom side turret right now. It is going to be a whole game of trades. Who will come up? The successor of the trades we need to see. Toppy Doggy once again in an awkward position, will get ganked upon by 4 members. GSP nowhere to be found, but they're all across the map trying to look for pickoffs.
Trying to look. I'm not sure if they know that Zenker's doing the turtle. They should, because Toffee Doggy has fallen, but looks like they will aggress onto Mythical instead. Brilliance is popped. Now they change the target to Juice P, but he gets away. Mythical falls in that process.
Yeah, Loi has been very pivotal in the side of Juice P draft. Remember what I mentioned. If Zenker Kindergarten likes to pick up all these, scrappy, massive team fights as 5, Juice P will be able to spread all the damage all across the board with the duality, the passive of the dispersion, and of course the rotation. So I think Zenker Kindergarten, they have to try to split push. They need to abuse the mobility. Cho is really good in these 1v1 duels and also cutting the waves. And of course, you got Amon, right? That will sneak around going in. So I think Zenker Kindergarten has to change the tempo a little bit slightly. You have these 3 musketeers basically comprising of the Estes, the YSS, and the Fireside as well, to just rotate around out of control. Picking up turrets will be very important for the side of Zenker.
Mountain Shocker being popped now, doing some damage and spotting out the members of Juice P. Feathered Airstrike was used as well to put some damage, but it doesn't look like they've got a hit on the members of Juice P. In the meantime, turret on the top side, and now the fight is breaking out on the bottom with the Juice P going down as the first casualty.
First casualty, and also the turret as well. Just take a look, Zenker Kindergarten literally changing their gears slightly. They know they cannot fight Juice P in the head-on. They're just gonna try to fight with it with unconventional warfare, guerrilla tactics, take down top side, then I take down bottom side, let Juice P fight as 5, be that death ball, and all I have to do is avoid the death ball. Basically playing dodgeball.
Oh, Milim dodges the Bennett's Rage and gets away on Dragon onto Bubble Tea. Half health forced to dodge away Toffee Doggy in the front line now, trying to go for the back line, but now he's knocked up and taken out. It's gonna be Beishu that picks up the credit for that, and a double to top that off on Bubble Tea. They continue on to Choo Choo, force to flicker away. The damage isn't enough to finish him. How about on the bottom side, they get Beishu, and here is the damage from Juice P. Brilliance being popped to cut away from this fight. It's gonna be 1 for 2 across this team.
Remember, if you're playing against a Luoyi, you don't fight in choke points because this is what happens. But Zenka Kindergarten, nice tempo they've got right there, starting to pick up Juice P members one at a time. Zenka Kindergarten will definitely need to rinse and repeat this part again. You use Milim to kick one person all the way in to the lovely arms. Let the Feather Airstrike finish it off. Let Zenka burst it all the way down. Juice P, on the other hand, they cannot allow this. Toffee Doggy's positioning must be impeccable. They cannot give all these people up, especially Choo Choo as well, looking like a very juicy target painted right in the back of Zenka's Kindergarten's crosshairs.
Yeah, but it's difficult, right, to get out of these crosshairs. Zenka, they have the vision of Beichu's Mountain Shocker, and it's difficult for Juice P to set them up. We've seen Toffee Doggy hiding in bushes, trying to pick a fight, but then the Mountain Shocker gets popped and they immediately get spotted out.
Yep, Circling Eagle will be able to enter. Juice P receiving so much damage. Feather Airstrike will be activated. Juice P gets stunned all the way up. Steady Bomb BB gets the mega kill at the same time. The onslaught goes on. Nibiru spreading passion all over across the board. It is Zenka leading out the 5-man charge without Loi in tow. They would love to congregate and pick up these fights, and they will rotate over to the Lord.
Rotating over to the Lord Juice P, they were down one member because Bubble Tea's all the way up trying to split push here, and now they send Milim to deal with him, but they get the kills and they get the Lord in that process right now. Mid lane Circling Eagle on to Steady Bomb PP here, but Toffee, he takes too much damage. The flame shot gets connected, but it's not enough to take him out.
Too tanky. Mathilda is way too tanky, and I would say Juice P, Toffee Doggy has to be careful, especially with the Circling Eagle, right? You don't want to be in the national diving unit. You don't want to be... Wait, Joseph Schooling is not a national diving unit, but the point is you don't really want to dive right into Zenka's Kindergarten just like that. Toffee Doggy got off with a miracle, but they should not try to do that. Once again, patience is key right here. Juice P knows they can pick up a fight against Zenka's Kindergarten, and I believe Zenka Kindergarten knows this. Yes, Juice P is fighting with a 5k gold deficit, but in the Loi, they can fight all this drawn out fights. They've also got the Bowman, which is like literally the king of all these team fights, right? It will be able to out-sustain you and basically just try to duel you to the heart's content. Feather Airstrike uses again. Miracle, question mark, gone right off the board right now. Juice P cannot afford to bleed members, and they cannot afford to bleed turrets.
Miracle with a question mark indeed, unfortunately got taken out. It's like, Miracle? Where did he go? And then he just disappeared, and right now off of that, Zenka gonna take the top inhibitor as well as a tier 2 in the mid lane. Toffee Doggy again taking so much damage, but Steady with the burst damage takes more than half of his HP now. Juice P, they're fighting back, and they're fighting back strong. They're making this defense right now.
Yes, as the kick goes in, Circling Eagle will be able to catch Nilim all the way out. The Blessing of the Goddess will be activated by the side of Nino, but flickers all the way out. Zenka Kindergarten just bugs out all this fight, use all their flickers right at the same time. They don't want to pick up this fight because they're at one member short, and Juice P, they're starting to pick up the damage. Don't forget, Juice P don't really need to chunk them all the way down to 0 HP. You give it over to Bubble Tea to finish the job with one nice execution.
And Juice P has been just playing to that draft extremely well, right? You have the burst and you have the damage from Choo Choo as well. Then Bubble Tea to finish it up. But right now, Milim, he gets 2 knocked up. Bubble Tea is one of them. Will he manage to escape? It will not be enough, as Zenka is the one to put him in a casket. It's 1 down on the side of Juice P. And now they have the aggressive positioning going on to Toffee Doggy as well. Knocks him up, but doesn't look like they will continue that for now. Just showing a bit of dominance and stripping away the farm in the jungle.
Yeah, Zenka Kindergarten, nice pickup coming out right there. Remember, Zenka Kindergarten, initially they wanted to fight as a team fight. That's why you draft the Estes, right? But no, they're starting to pick members of Juice P one by one.
Coffee Doggy already gone. Tried to use the Circle E, but not in time. It's gonna be the burst damage coming up from Juice P, taking them to half health. But looks like they're just engaging, disengaging, trying to find the right opportunity to get into these fights.
Yeah, just basically a pure pick composition right now. I like the adaptability that Zenka Kindergarten was able to use. Oh, Brilliance will be activated as a Feather Airstrike will be able to use to zone out Juice P all the way out, leaving YSS to focus on these cool key shot. But oh, Milim kicks the wrong third person to the wrong way. Will lose his life right there, right inside enemy base. But Zenka Kindergarten cracks open 3 lanes of Juice P already.
Juice P once again standing on their hind legs, defending their base. Again, they've put up a great fight, but is it gonna be enough? Right now, it's 20 seconds to the next Lord. They need to take this objective.
Yeah, the objective lies in the hands of whether, the win con, I would say, lies in whether Bubble Tea gets a very good execute, whether Juice P lands down a nice spread of the duality, proc the passive as much as possible, make sure Zenka Kindergarten get proc all the way to its death. Zenka Kindergarten, on the other hand, they cannot afford these 5v5s. They need to try to pick off using Milim to single out one single target or basically kick someone all the way out. Then we burst that one person. It's been used to great success as Zenka Kindergarten pours all that damage into one person. Now Juice P, they're not going to engage. They saw the Lord coming in and their Zenka Kindergarten literally baiting all the way out. Don't forget, this Lord does have an ultimate that could allow the reposition. And, I think they did.
They did. Now it's gonna be Bubble Tea right deep at the jungle, probably trying to go for a steal here. Do they spot him out is the question, but Juice P, he takes too much damage from Milim, immediately gone, and here comes the steal! Bubble Tea, he manages to make it, but he pays the price for it as Nino is the one to put him in a coffin. That was insane.
Spider sense tingling. I've seen this way too many times. I'm throwing the headrest of my Secret Lab chat right on the floor already because this is absolutely nutty, right? Good steal coming up from Juice P, but Zenka Kindergarten, they have the momentum, they have the damage, they have the XP, and they will be able to fight the Lord right inside the enemy's base. They're not gonna care about what Juice P gonna do because they're all down into the ground with timers on their names, and now they would take game number 2, but man, that is a good clip coming out from the side of this Balban player.
Definitely a good clip. You could see him just waiting in the bushes for that steal. Unfortunately, they just lost too much in that fight, and that was their demise.
That was a massive facepalm right there from the side of Zenka Kindergarten. If someone's making a meme out of this, you know that meme where everyone facepalm in the theater whenever that clap goes all the way down? Yes, that's exactly how I'm picturing that meme going to be. But when I see Juice P, the members of Juice P is just congregating very suspiciously right there with that low E. And I believe I saw the ultimate already being used by Juice P, but basically the low E sending the members all the way down. Oh, well, at least Bauman all the way down. He is basically who's that guy called? Brad Pitt, right? Was it Brad Pitt that acted in Mission Impossible?
Was it Brad Pitt? I'm not sure.
I forgot about it. But the point is, he's on a Mission Impossible trying to steal this Lord. He did, but yeah, like what you said, they lost too much. No, it's Tom Cruise. Sorry, my bad.
All right, Tom Cruise. Oh gosh, no, Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. Did he even come close to Mission Impossible? Oh man, you're gonna get flagged in the chat for this.
I am. Yeah, I think a production team is like Tom Cruise in full caps, and I mean, I'm so sorry, but thank God I've got a production team as well behind me to fact check myself as I go in on a rampage, but going rampant in these analogies. But this is Asia Esports Festival X Comic Con. This is the MLB community tournament, and of course it doesn't feel like a community tournament. Juice P pick up a wonderful fight against Zenka Kindergarten. It's not really one-sided as you would thought. Nice steal going off right there. I think Zenka Kindergarten really facepalmed them really hard, but that concludes this series for now.
Yeah, it's gonna be once again. Congratulations to Zenka Kindergarten for taking that one, and a great fight by Juice P. Like you said, it doesn't feel like a community tournament, and it's hard to feel that way if there are pro players in the game as well. And now they get to go enjoy the wedding if they are actually at the wedding. So congratulations.
Yep, of course. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into a short break. When we come back, we've got more action laid up just for you. So go grab yourself a drink, water. That's what I'm going to say. And
Or
we'll
Mountain
come back
Dew.
with more games. And Mountain Dew as well. And we'll come back with more games.
I want to extend our warmest welcome to you on behalf of Apple and on behalf of M1.
Stop wasting time on sharing reviews on social media without being recognized by the brand you support. You&Me mobile app is a social media e-commerce platform that values consumers' reviews and recommendations with loyalty rewards for products and services you care about. Our 8-app integrated news feed allows consumers to see recommendations based on their interests and be inspired by good buys shared by other users in the community. On the review page, consumers can explore and participate in campaigns by creating creative content reviews of their favorite brands, tag the products that they recommend, and enjoy the satisfaction that comes from becoming co-creators of brand values. We value each reviews and recommendations with loyalty points that can be applied towards their next purchase or be converted into cash rewards. Consumers, you hold the key to a brand's growth and reputation. Your trust, enthusiasm, and patronage should be appreciated and rewarded. Be part of You&Me's word-of-mouth movement now. Share the good, good to share.
What if I told you a mouse was designed by a YouTuber? Probably just a cash grab, right? But what if I told you that YouTuber built their channel on reviewing mice? Has over 250 gaming mice in his house, 150 mouse reviews on the channel, and over 22 years experience in first-person shooters. Yeah, this isn't a cash grab. This is about taking mice to that next step. I started the Rocket Jump Ninja YouTube channel because I realized I aimed better with certain mice. And others did too. Mice have come a long way in that time. Performance is amazing, but there's still one thing that's being neglected. And when it comes to aim, shape is king. I've spent the last year testing my theories on design, and my aim has never been better. So here it is. My experience, my creation. The Xtrify MZ1, Zeiss Rail.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Asia Esports Festival X Comic Con MLBB Community Tournament, organized by EEA and Comic Con, supported by Bell's Academic Group, Build Tech, Excel Games, M1, Monster Cat, Mountain Dew, OSIM, Safra, Scorpio Electric, Shore, Yumi Sushi, and You&Me. Now we're down to the second game here in the quarterfinals. We've seen Zenka Kindergarten fight it out earlier with Juice P, and boy, I think we're just gonna have more intense team fights coming up, Jace.
Yeah, and okay, if you want to talk about, the macro play, right? I'm not just talking about just the game. I'm talking about the brackets, right? Taking a look at the brackets, I don't think you guys have access to it, but I'm looking, because Zenka Kindergarten went all the way up to the semifinals, right? They're very comfortable. On the other side, round 3, it's Avarice going up against Rank tonight. We saw Avarice. They did quite a good game as well. So they're going to battling out against Zenka in either Avarice or Rank tonight going to battle out in the semifinals. But what I love about this particular brackets is the fact that we don't see Bushies going up against Zenka Kindergarten in the semifinals at all. There's no way they're going to meet up, right? So if Bushies win Team XEI, they go into the semifinals, they go, and then on the other side, which is the two teams that we'll be watching right now, Team NF. Okay, I'm a big fan of NF, by the way, if you guys know the rapper. One Piece as well, and one of these two teams win. They're going up against Bushies, and of course, they stand a chance to go against in the finals. But the point being is this: TLDR or TL don't listen. Bushies and Zenka will never meet each other all the way into the finals, which will happen on the 1st of January.
Yeah, 1st of January. Remember, the teams are fighting out for a first prize pool of $2,000 in vouchers and 4,000 diamonds, Jace. This is going to be a lot. But before we get ahead of ourselves in the finals, here is the second series in the quarterfinals between One Piece and Team NF. First ban going the way of One Piece to the Beatrix.
Yeah, okay. Beatrix getting banned away. I'm expecting a Valentina ban, but I don't think both these two teams are on the Valentina textbook as of yet. I think playing as a Valentina means that you need a very wide hero pool in order to play it off. So I think both these two teams, they may not even touch or hear the Valentina at all. One Piece will ban away the Amon as usual. Team NF, I think if they want to go, if you don't ban the Valentina, you ban away the Nathan, and of course the Clint is open once again.
Clint is open, Valentina is open. I'm quite excited to see if they will go into that, but it looks like they're gonna hover around the Clint and lock it in.
Yep, Clint still prior pick is a lot easier to play and does have the scaling towards the late game. Now, Team NF, they do have the Farsa and the Yuzhong open. If they want to snag one of these, heavy strike artillery mages, they could go on in to secure that one for themselves. But, first picking the Esmeralda, first picking Estes, okay. You want to go with this kind of draft? Yes, you can, but you need something even more hard hitting to protect. If you have nothing to protect at the backline, the backline doesn't do enough damage, then it's kind of pointless to drop an Esmeralda and an Estes in the first two picks.
Well, they still have many picks to go into to show who their backline will be, but right now, the side of One Piece picking up the Glue as well as the YSS. Glue, haven't seen him too much, but obviously very annoying to deal with as well. I think we've seen one game where it was just so tough and he goes right into the backline and you just can't kill him.
Glue just being Glue. Whenever I play the Glue, I become this this maniac that loves to inflict pain on myself as I hurt the others, especially when you possess. Now, you need to have fast fingers with the ultimate, but with that said, Team NF will secure the Farsa, bans away the Yuzhong. This is almost textbook, right? Yes, now NF has a hard-hitting backline that they need to protect. You need to use the Esmeralda to delay, to basically sustain, do a little bit of damage, basically like a Uranus. You don't expect a lot of burst damage from her. So One Piece this time round, I think they could go and limit the course. Lancelot is a good choice, but I prefer the Roger in this case because, like we mentioned this, right? Farsa, you pair it up with the Roger, you use the Feather Airstrike, land out at least one shot. Your job as Farsa is done. That's cue for Roger to jump all the way in, and they will just go in all ham. Once again, in the theme of hard hitters, Brody will be picked up by Team NF.
Yeah, and like you said, it's gonna be a lot of protection onto this backline of Farsa and Brody as well. But One Piece, they're hovering over a Tigreal and a Veil will lock both of these in. So a very, very strong front line from Glue and Tigreal, as well as the CCs on the side of Team NF. I feel like that's what they're lacking a little bit, the CCs and the ability to engage.
Yep, and of course, speaking about CCs and engage, you do have a very strong engage coming out from the side of NF, right? Farsa with the Feather Airstrike, you also got the Deadly Catch that you could use to engage or disengage, so it's a very flexible pick. But we saw Bane being drafted as a jungler before. They're used mostly to push down turrets as quickly as possible, so that's probably the way that you go. Bane, I feel like it also could be a counter pick from the side of Team NF because, you've got a Farsa over there as well. You got to do a lot more burst damage. I think it's just basically on the theme of hard hitters, right? You draft a Esmeralda, you draft an Estes, you try to hold the front line, and then you hit them even harder with the Brody, the Farsa and the Bane.
Yeah, unfortunately, they just don't have like CCs to be able to hold the enemies down. So hopefully those engages are going to be enough. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is game one between One Piece and Team NF in this quarterfinal series.
Yep, of course, One Piece in the blue, Team NF in the red right now. Priority, I would say, for the mid lane, it's definitely going to go into the far side. This far side will rotate even faster as compared to One Piece. But bottom side, we've seen Brody's going up against the Clint's before. So I think Brody just has to hold the lane as long as possible. Top side, I would say, it's going to be a very weird lane because, those two don't really hit very hard, but in terms of regen, both of them have it as well, and as a glue, right? I think glue off lane does quite decent damage, but you want to just try to rotate, clear and rotate faster and try to invade. That's where a glue comes in: survivability and also being annoying at the first place.
I think we're just gonna see them hit at each other, regen for a while. So maybe we'll just come back in 5 minutes and see how they're doing on that front.
Yes. Yes, that joke. Yeah, you guys can take a coffee topside. No observers, you don't need to go back here. I think there's no action happening right here. No offense to both Gucci and Flame, right? But that's just how the game roll. But I was seeing a bit of damage that Esmeralda was able to inflict. And Glue this time around doesn't really have as much regen, but it's slightly tanky. Bottom side, though, it is going to be the Estes that's going to walk around with this. Look at Ava Rose's positioning, right? Just providing so much vision over the side of Team NF. One Piece has to be careful now. Team NF knows that the Veil tried to circle all the way down. As you can notice, like Veil and the Tigro just proceeds up all the way to the top. But they once again get scouted out by this Bane. I would say this is a very tough vision war that One Piece will need to fight against.
Right now, what they're gonna fight against might be the next objective, which is the turtle that has spawned here. Team NF taking the more aggressive position and getting some damage onto Gucci and Misslin here. Flame coming in, but gets knocked up by the hurricanes, and he's the one that's going to fall in this fight. Survives for the moment, but not for long. First blood falls. Gucci sacrifices his life for that kill.
I think, no offense to Glue lives doesn't really matter. Your main thing is to be annoying as possible. So they did, and now take a look. Team NF a little bit scuffed, a little bit low. They don't really have priority. Of course, the turtle will go into One Piece, and the onslaught continues.
Ava Rose immediately blown up again by that hurricane from Misslin, and now One Piece, they're happy with their turtle and 2 kills, and they back off from that fight. One Piece, they're really strong showing here, and this Veil, if he continues at this rate, is going to be a huge problem.
Yeah, especially when you go into fair airstrike, right? You're basically immobile, and what the Veil can do is just use the ultimate, and that's basically key, right? Who will land down the ultimates will potentially lose first. If Veil lands down the ultimate, great. The Farsa will go into it, the feather airstrike form. But if the Farsa lands down in the feather airstrike, the Veil will just respawn with an ultimate. So that's a trade of an ultimate. But I think momentum is going to be important for the side of One Piece, especially Team NF though. They're trying to look for it.
Sacred Hammer and an implosion will be enough to lock down Ava Rose, and he just gets sent back to the base with this death timer here. Feathered Airstrike not enough to back him up for now. Again, just so much damage, and the CCs that Team NF can't keep up with.
Yeah, Team NF has to be careful. Take a look. There's 3 Purifiers on the battle spell on the other side of Team NF. They're really terrified of this Tigro. And I think this Tigro has been really wonderful because you see, if Flame tries to engage, this Tigro will just easily push him away. So I think Team NF, they have to use their range. They've got a superior range as compared to One Piece. Yes, they do have the Veil, they do have the Clint, but I prefer Team NF's long range capabilities. Now, in terms of tempo, One Piece is still leading it on. Tigro has been making wonderful rotations, so it's up to him to set it up. I like the chemistry coming out from One Piece as well. They know their limits, and they will just enter together as a team as they set up for this turtle fight. TNF, they're not falling behind, they're following it up as well. But both these 2 teams, I think they're playing it really safe, and a lot of respect given over to each other.
Gonna see this. On the top side, nothing much here to see again. Although they did sacrifice themselves, but just brawling it out a bit. But we can see One Piece and Team NF, they're gathering around the turtle. Team NF actually the one starting it right now, but they might just be baiting it. Mountain Shocker here for the damage again, going all the way in onto Ava Rose. The feathered airstrike comes in for the defense, is gonna be enough to take out Stings for the moment. 1 kill to the way of Team NF.
Good pickups coming up from the side of Team NF. I believe it is also the turtle being secured by the side of this YSS, if I'm not mistaken. But the point being is this: if Team One Piece were to give away leads, that would be absolutely bad. If you notice, the Clint never left the lane, just constantly shoving it all the way up against Team NF. I think Team NF is losing a little bit too much already in the early game. They have late game capabilities with the Bane and Killmonger as the Farsa, but One Piece, they've got the Veil, they've got this Clint. In terms of late game, One Piece is definitely in the favor. So Team NF, they just hit their power spike, especially in the mid game, and they need to use it right now.
I think that's what they're looking to do now as Team NF. They're gathering a little bit on the bottom side, but actually rotating out of it right now. It's gonna be One Piece that's on the hunt, looking for someone. Ava Rose in position to get hit now, but doesn't get spotted out by Sting, so they walk away scot-free.
Both these two teams, they're not really trading it out. One Piece does have the advantage right now. They're just stalling the game. They're letting Team NF rotate. Good positioning coming out from Tigger right there, right? So just securing and just scouting the members all the way out. But Team NF, they're not falling. They're not falling very far behind because they've got the Farsa, this big bursty damage. Not a lot of fights breaking all the way out. Both these two teams looking to scale, but Team NF will definitely lose in that department if both teams decide to scale to the late game.
Yeah, but you can see Stinks and the whole team of One Piece just rotating, and it's like they're super hyper focused on getting Ava Rose. Every single team fight, they've set their sights on getting him, and once they take him out of the fight, they know that they have the ability to burst down the rest of Team NF.
Yeah, so it's all about patience, both these two teams. I feel like Team NF, they don't really... It's not... Just based on the positioning and their movement, they're not a very patient team. You can see how aggressively they try to pick up fights. Yes, Gucci is the only one with a hot head, but here we go.
Knock up onto Flame, and the Hurricane does half the damage, but One Piece, they're just looking for the turtle, or maybe not. You see Gucci right in the middle of them. Again, Ava Rose with the Sacred Hammer manages to take him out. It's gonna be JM that picks up the kill for it. Ava Rose, he's just being focused on again and again.
I think One Piece identifies this as one of the prime targets. Hayes goes into the torn apart memory, will not be able to pick up anything. One Piece secured a good fight at the top side, and they're looking for more. Gucci goes into, you know, split as well, trying to look for Flame, you know, just being annoying. I like this gameplay style, but here we go.
Being annoying, but he's going deep into being annoying. Even Killmonger here for the backup doesn't even phase him. But I think it looks like he's had enough, so he's just gonna bounce his way out of that fight. One Piece though, now they're sitting at a comfortable 3 to 4-ish K gold lead, and that's really putting them ahead, but they're not being too aggressive as well.
I wouldn't call 4K gold lead as a very comfortable gold lead. In my books, 10K is a comfortable gold lead because you take 10, divide by 5.
Right now it's gonna be Killmonger that's taking too much damage, but it looks like it will be enough. The heals are there for him to sustain and escape deadly catch for good measure to put some distance between the two teams. One Piece though, they're going in again. Ava Rose, he steps out, but here comes the feathered airstrike for defense. Flame goes in the back line trying to get JM, but he gets blown up. Instead, Ava Rose gets another kill onto Stinks. It's a 1-for-1 trade out.
Yeah, Flame a little bit hot-headed, like what I said. Based on their member, based on how they're positioning, NF is starting to lose patience. One Piece, they don't care. Gucci, as that glue, loves this kind of playstyle. So basically, you want to be very aggressive right in their face, because you're practically almost unkillable when you go into split because you regen, you provide slows, you provide, you know, damage reduction. So not into it yourself, but you reduce the damage of every single one in the enemy side. You pick off one person, bring him back, and then basically One Piece could just follow up. So a very pick composition coming out from the side of One Piece. Now the Lord is up, and One Piece should be able to secure this without any contest at all from the side of Team NF.
Yep, Team NF doesn't look like they're gonna contest it. Killmonger though, somehow in the backline actually getting taken out. JM as well, so it looks like they traded out, but still One Piece with the upper hand as well as the Lord.
Yep, Lord marching down on the top side. Members of One Piece rotating down to the bottom. A very slow pace game coming out from both these two teams. Now, Team NF, remember what I mentioned, as the Bane, you do not try to kill. You do not try to gank for the kills. You gank to pick up turrets. Just take a look at the side of One Piece's turrets. None of them is basically getting battered up. None of them is getting engaged upon. So One Piece is keeping Team NF in check, and that is one of win conditions if you pick up a Bane.
Oh, Hayes with the torn apart memory, but it's not enough. Misslin has the better burst damage and manages to just blow him up. No pun intended, but in the meantime, the Lord also goes down in the top side. They do manage to crack open the bottom side. It's down to the inhibitor there. Right now, One Piece, they're just hovering over this middle lane looking for an opportunity to continue the aggression.
Yeah, you remember what I said during the draft. One Team NF relies on these hard hitters, but the hitters are not hitting hard enough. You can see that. One Piece, they're slowly gaining ground. They're picking up all these crucial farm away. Look at the gold lead slowly increasing in terms of gap. Remember what I said. 10k gold lead is usually like a very comfortable gold lead because that's where you divide by 2. It's around 2k per person, and there you have it. That's basically almost like one item completed in each member, because one person with one item completed as compared to the other side is a lot more better, right? So One Piece definitely should be leading in the items, and they are leading in terms of the tank, the map dominance, and the tempo of the game. Team NF playing on the back foot. Flame probably bitten twice already, so very shy in terms of these engages.
Piece though, they're also quite equally shy to the engage. It's as if they're just sniping out for Ava Rose, and they only engage when they know that they've got a good angle on him. Right now, Stings, he's looking again for that angle, but can't seem to find it. He knows that Ava is now on the lookout. Once bitten, twice shy, and 3 times is, well, maybe the magic, so Ava Rose is staying way away.
Yeah, just basically maintaining social distancing. Now Flame decides not to charge. Very wise choice right there, but One Piece is going to collapse.
There we go. The Sacred Hammer and the knockup is not enough though to put out the damage. The rest of his team wasn't here for the backup, but they do manage to get the mid-tier 2 turret here, and now Team NF, they're down to their inhibitors.
Down to 2 inhibitors, and basically fighting for dear life as Team NF, using those key ultimates just to zone One Piece away from these from encroaching on their own turrets. Man, nice defense coming out from Team NF. They have the high ground, so One Piece right now is gonna be tough, you know, sieging in. They don't really have super long range. Yes, they've got the Veil, they've got the Clint, but I mean, they need to size it even harder as compared to Team NF. Team NF could defend this over and over again. We fight you at the late game, but once again, remember what I said. One Piece looks scarier in the late game as compared to Team NF. Not too sure whether Team NF wants to be there together, but at least they are trying to equalize the gold lead so that they can fight on equal grounds.
I'm not sure if they can manage to equalize the goal lead. I mean, right now, almost like 9k apart from the two teams, and like you said, One Piece, they have the upper hand in terms of the late game. 2 marksmen on their side together with Misslin's burst damage, and they're up against, what, Killmonger's Feathered Airstrike and Haze's Torn Apart Memory. I mean, yes, they do have the zoning abilities and the deadly catch, but I don't think that's going to be enough.
Yep, so patience will be the key game for One Piece, because you can see how Gucci's creating some space at the top side. Now Team NF just positioning like this, just Stings, the portable ward, will be giving out information for the side of One Piece so that One Piece can take this lord for safety. Remember, they don't really have enough sieging capabilities as compared to Team NF. This lord will be very vital, and now it's up to them to set it all the way up. Once again, Team NF, remember, they never breathe a single molecule of air in the side of One Piece's side of the jungle. Most of these fights has been happening in the side of Team NF's base. Both of these two teams just freezing the lane, waiting for the lord to spawn.
You can see that they've not stepped into the jungle, and they haven't had the chance to get at any towers at all. Team NF, they're majorly down on objectives. One Piece, they're just playing this so methodically, getting the turrets, waiting for the objectives, and now that they've got the Lord, they're trying to sync up all the waves to make it a 3-way siege.
Will be a 2-prong attack for now. Top side a little bit late for the party, but this Luminous Lord will charge all the way in. Stakes looking for some pickups right there. Mountain Shocker will be activated. Deadly Catch tossed to clear, but not enough to phase One Piece away. They will continuously lead the charge at the top side. Oh, burst damage coming out from Bale.
Flicker in with the implosion is enough to get Ava Rose for the moment, and is this going to be the end? They have the Lord here, and they're starting to charge into the base. Now Stinks leads the charge, but he's taking so much damage from the Torn Apart Memory. Immortality is popped, but the core will go down. They don't need to fight that at all. One Piece with the convincing victory.
Yes, convincing, I would say I have to agree with you, but in terms of patience, I think One Piece won just by sheer patience. NF was losing it, especially in the early parts of the game. They were not ready to pick up the fights. Their spikes at the mid game, right? But Ava Rose constantly getting focused down, chunked down by the side of One Piece, and whenever NF is not letting up in terms of these defenses, Gucci, right, created so much space. Just take a look at the damage received, 31%, almost on par as that tank as well. So he does create a lot of space. Yes, he doesn't really pop in and out in terms of these team fights. He's not really necessarily needed because there's a Tigreal to peel, there's a Tigreal that can face, and don't forget, the Implosion, Second Hammer, and Charge Wamba combo is just way too good to be passed out. So Tigreal, mad respect for this tank. This is the kind of tank that you need in your solo queue.
Yeah, and I think it points to also the difficulty with the engage, right? Like you mentioned, they have Esme, they have the Bane's Deadly Catch to be able to make some sort of initiation, but I just felt like in that department, they were still lacking. You don't have like the likes of a Lapu Lapu to join it, or the Tigreal, for example, to come in with the CC and be able to lock down the characters, and because of that, it was a bit like they were a sitting duck.
Yeah, technically speaking, with the Estes slow, it's almost like a stun, right? But we don't really see it. The slow is like what, 80%? It's like super slowed down, almost close to a stun. However, I think, I will want to point back to the Bane. You draft a Bane to try to split push, right? Don't forget they got a Brody as well. We know Brody to push down turrets really, really quickly, but we don't see any of these turrets at all. So One Piece always at the right place at the right time, and was able to out-rotate the members of NF.
Yeah, that's also a good thing that One Piece managed to do, right? They rotated so much, especially Sticks on that Tigreal. He was just going all around the map every single time, looking for Ava Rose, helping to peel for his teammates, and just making sure that he could pick the fights that they want and slowly get the lead. It was like a slow burn, right? Another slow burn kind of fight for them.
I think it also boils down to both these two teams. They don't really dare to commit, and they don't really have the confidence, and they're afraid of losing this lead. Especially, it's more prevalent in One Piece. So NF, the one that's a hot-headed kid going up against a cool kid, right? This cool kid, playing it slow, playing it cool. You want to fight? Sure, I'll receive this fight, but I've got a Tigreal to disengage. You want to engage into me? I got a Bale that could knock you all the way up in the air with the Hurricane as well, then bust you all the way down. So basically, whatever NF has been trying to do throughout this whole game number one is just charging recklessly right into the damage of this Veil.
Yeah, it's a bit like going on the analogy, the hot kid, but I think instead of the cool kid, it's a bit like the nerdy, analytical kid, because they know exactly what Team NF wants to do and when they should strike, and they study that, and the moment they do, they just take them out.
Yeah, well, cool kid. I would say nerds are cool as well. What you're talking about, Scrubby Cheeks?
Oh, that's true. It could be one
a bit offended, no pun intended. But the point is this: if NF were to draft this all the way back into game number 2, I think they have a solid draft. But maybe it's like what you said, right, Scrubby Cheeks? The lack of a hard CC. Yes, I mentioned the Estes slow to be quite good, almost on par of a stun. But NF may need a harder CC as compared to an Estes slow.
Yeah, and we're gonna see if they decide to change up their draft in that direction here with game 2 between Team NF and One Piece. We're right here in the draft. One Piece, of course, with that one game to their advantage, gonna take out the Clint on the side of Team NF.
Yep, One Piece definitely will be on the duty to ban away the Valentina already. Later will be taken off the board. Team NF, I would say you ban away... No, you don't ban away anything. I think ban away the heroes that you don't want to meet, because the members of One Piece, I feel like they could do anything, right? If they show off the glue so like this, that means that they've got a wider hero pool just waiting. That definitely, they play a lot of meta heroes as well. So, okay, gonna be the Ammon ban. So, pretty standard bans, like what I mentioned. So, One Piece this time around has to ban away the Valentina, but they probably respect... No, I don't think they respect the Estes at all, because Everos use it, but okay. They're gonna ban the Beatrix instead.
Yeah, they're running the same bans as the last round. Again, Valentina was let go. Maybe the two teams don't feel like they're up to playing that. This time, though, the side of Team NF, instead of the Farsa, they're going for the Eve.
Eve, okay. Zones, like I said, they want to play zoning people out, right? I feel like One Piece would definitely go back to the same exact draft. The glue has been shown, the Brody has been shown as well. Team NF, yeah, they can draft the Bane once again, and then they will be able... They need to fight inside the box. They need to zone members of One Piece all the way out. But One Piece, they'll just go back into the same exact draft if Team NF allows it.
I'm gonna see if that happens, but there you go. Team NF with the initiation and the engage this time on the Kufra and hovering over the Lapu Lapu. Now they're going like a 180-degree turn with a full-on dive composition.
Yep, and then it's going to be a YSS being drafted by One Piece right now. I would start banning away cores like the Roger. No, actually Roger wouldn't work very well. Like the Lancelot or like the Link, but I don't see like Team NF will be using this at all. So yeah, Team NF on the other hand, right, they could ban away the mages that One Piece hasn't picked up, like the Farsa as well, if they don't want to contest that. But I feel like Team NF, they could ban away. No, they don't even need to ban the Yuzhong as well, because this glue is definitely going to go into the off lane. But instead, they're going to play it safe. They ban away the Yuzhong. Now, One Piece banning away Selena, very suspicious, especially like this, right? Because Selena does secure a lot of good early game lead, and of course, One Piece hasn't picked up a mage for themselves yet. They need to pick up one right now.
Yeah, could be something that they're showing. I think Selena. Oh, actually, it's gonna be the Farsa that they've locked in as well. So, personally, like you said, I do like the Farsa a bit more than the Eve here. So, my heart's going out to One Piece on that pick. But it looks like the response from NF might be a Lancelot to deal with this Farsa.
I like this Lancelot pick, right? Like what I mentioned, One Piece needs to ban away the Lancelot. Don't need to ban away the Roger. They can leak it all the way. But now Team NF has a prior pick, right? Looking for the Feather Airstrike, going into iframes will be very crucial. And of course, you know, Brody at the backline as well. And now with this show, Team NF drafting a very scary composition. They can look for these engages. They have hard CCs, like what you said, Scrubby Cheeks. Totally 180. No, it's not even a 180. 360 change right now. Do you change with 360?
Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm confused about. If you say 360, don't you go back to the same place?
I was like, wait a minute, that's a full circle. But the point is, 180 degrees change, right? But One Piece will pick up the Ruby as a tank. So, well, I like this pick coming out from NF this time around. One Piece still going back to the same old. Just the fact that the Ruby will be picked up as a tank. I don't like the Ruby as a tank because, you know, Ruby definitely useful more as a fighter. But based on what the Rubies that been seeing in this community tournament, yeah, it feels like the Ruby now goes back into a tank role because you don't really need her for the damage.
We'll see how they decide to play this Ruby and the rest of the draft. As right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into game 2, potentially match point between Team NF and One Piece. Now, this is One Piece's game to take and Team NF's one to prove. So we're gonna see who gets the better of it in this series.
I prefer the draft of NF, like hands down. Like a lot more balance as compared to game number 1 this time around. Everest will be able to jump all the way on top of Miss Lin right now. It's like what I said. I felt like Team NF was drafting drafting very suspiciously, but I think they're on pure reactive mode, right? But this time around, Team NF, they pick something that's a lot more meta. So we need to see the fruits of this labor.
They're splitting the fight a little bit, going in with the Tyrant's Rage, but I think choosing to back away both teams from that fight. But team composition, yeah, Miss Lin, yes, they have the damage, but the peel is going to rely heavily on Gucci as well as Stings. And the question is whether or not that is going to be enough. The only really hard CC now is just on Stings with the I'm Offended.
Yep. There's also a stun coming out of Farsa, but well, you don't count that, right? Gucci does have a bit of a pick potential. One Piece, I feel like they're going to go into a pure pick potential. They're not going to force these team fights, right? But Team MF, they need to force these fights. They've got good, solid team fights in the Kufra and also the Eve in the real world manipulation, and even Flame when you go in the Bravest Warrior. That long big blade stun also comes in. But they've also got a very flexible Cho that could pick someone off, single this person out, then you pour all that damage all the way in. We saw this draft before coming in, I believe, from the side of Zenka Kindergarten, I believe, game number 2. I hope Team NF will repeat that.
Hopefully so. Like you said, hopefully the peel is enough as well on the side of One Piece. I also do favor the draft of Team NF. It feels like the tables have turned a little bit. Now Team NF is the one with the onus to put the aggression on, but right now One Piece with the feathered airstrike and Team NF, they're gonna get the turtle, but One Piece, do they get the revenge for this? They're trying to get Ava Rose. He falls as first blood. Stings terribly low, but somehow just managing to escape from that fight.
Yeah, you know, when you're playing with pups and you see an enemy glue, you get so angry whenever the glue tries to infest you on top, jumps on top of you with the out, and everyone tries to kill that glue, and you're like tearing your hair. It's like, don't hit me, stay away. You know, like, you know, this weirdo that just pushes everyone, stay away, don't hit me. But the pups keeps hitting. That's exactly what happened. Team NF decides to hit on that glue. That spreads the damage onto the person that he actually possessed, and that's easy kill over to the side of One Piece.
Yeah, but it's definitely not over yet. I mean, Ava Rose is still the tank after all. Feathered airstrike though, putting out a lot of damage onto Akashi here. Hopefully he isn't scared like he claims to be. Going to back away in his jungle right now. I'm hoping to see a little bit more of Akashi, especially because his job is basically to counter Mislin.
Yep, we saw that to great success a little bit. That team fight was in the favor of NF for a period of time, but One Piece actually turned that around because of that Gucci pickup, but now gang at the bottom side.
Trying to chase down Gucci here. The stun connects and the damage is coming through. Will it be enough is the question. Thorn Rose there, but this glue is just so hefty.
Obnoxious is what I like to call that glue, right? Especially when it goes into split. So it's like, yeah, you can't kill me. I'm just gonna bounce and skip along. You can't kill me. I mean, like, if I were this glue, I think whenever I play glue, right, I adopt a different personality. I usually don't like to taunt, but oh, nice kick going in.
Mislin getting knocked up, just one sliver of health left, manages to get the kill. Akashi picks up the credit and the double kill for his troubles onto Stings as well. Great counter engage there by Team NF.
I like to quote Abstract and Aris. We like to play with all these idioms, right? How the turntables. Team NF, a different beast this time, going into game number 2. Potentially seek to equalize that series score. Mountain Shocker will review. The turtle is up for grab, but One Piece is not ready at all. They're gonna give that turtle all the side over to the Team NF. And now, I would say that, like what I said, if you play a glue, you adopt a different personality. Your main role is to be absolutely as obnoxious as possible. We saw Death falling into death by the bouncing ball. I mean, that's just a wonderful pickoff coming over side Team NF. So One Piece, they have to play a little bit careful right now. So yeah, I feel like playing a glue, right, makes me feel like wanting to spam a lot of taunt spam, recall spam, I don't know, emotes, because part of that glue mentality is just to tilt your enemy.
Gonna see if Team NF actually tilts, but I think they actually lost Haze right there. So hopefully they don't. It was a 2v1, I believe. Stings rotated up there together with Mislin, managed to take him down. So right now they're sitting at quite equal gold across about 15k. Feathered airstrike in the mid lane to put some damage onto Flame. Oh, and the I'm offended gets 2. Will the follow-up damage be enough? Mountain Shocker here to add some pain on, but it doesn't look like they'll close out any of them.
Huge miscom going over the side of One Piece, right? You can see this Ruby very suspicious, going around with the arm offender. I'm surprised that Team NF actually fell for that. However, Miss Lin already used the feather airstrike. Had she had this feather airstrike, it would be 4 feather airstrikes hitting on top of Team NF, securing that kill. So a bit of miscom going into One Piece for now, as Gucci walks all the way to the top side, mid lane with a split. Nothing will be accomplished here, so he will just, walk back to lane. Feeling a little bit sad.
A little bit sad, but obnoxious, right? And right now he's actually got the better of the bottom lane. He's already taken the first turret down. So in terms of objectives, even though One Piece is slightly down there in terms of the kills, they're up in objectives. And right now, though, they're dropping 1 kill in the name of death.
Yeah, One Piece, that's a very unsafe lane for One Piece, right? If they overextended. Hayes shouldn't have been there. I think Hayes should have started to follow the team already. But, I mean, he tried to make some plays. There's nothing to do in the top and bottom side. I would like to see Hayes go all the way up there just to defend and then rotate to the mid lane to just keep pushing. Whereas Team NF would secure the turtle for themselves, still equalizing the gold lead and the XP lead. Both of these two teams still not going to go down without a fight, as top side looking a little bit scary.
A little bit scary. Miss Lin already popped the wings by wings to get out of that safely. This is the advantage of Farsa, having to escape from any sticky situations. But Team NF, they do get the top tier 1 turret, so they've equalized that lane between the two. Death gets a solo kill onto Flame in the meantime.
Yeah, bad play coming out from Team NF right now. One Piece, they need to. There's nothing to be done in the side lanes. They try to crack open the mid lane, but Team NF has put up a wonderful fight. But here we go, a split activated on top will be possessing. But I mean,
Ava Rose gets hit, split on top of him together with the feathered airstrike. There's nowhere for him to go, and Team NF, they were nowhere in sight to be able to back him up.
Yep, nice pickoff coming out from the side of Gucci, but Akashi is not scared at all, goes into Thorn Rose as well, and the real world manipulation will be activated to zone out the members of One Piece. Now Team NF, ooh, nice pickup going out there. One Piece picks up Haze for absolutely free, and they try to crack open the mid lane, but once again, Killmonger is always there. I basically, oh my god, I almost say grandeur, but I'm losing all these names of celebrities. It's just escaping me right now. Who's the one that says those shall not pass again?
I don't think you should go on this celebrities spree anymore, Jace. Maybe have a bit more Hollywood, you know.
Gandalf! That's right.
Gandalf?
Yeah,
okay, maybe
Lord
you got
of the
it this time.
Lord of the Rings. Those shall not pass. They secured the mid lane so well. It's still standing, giving so much problem over the side of One Piece.
Right now, though, it looks like it's gonna be Miss Lin that's immediately blown up. The real world manipulation puts the pain on them. Death also, I think probably from the previous fight actually. And now Team NF, they have the opportunity to start taking this first lot of the game.
Yeah, but they can't take the first lord. Take a look at One Piece. Take a look at this Gucci, right? He's playing a solo game at the bottom lane. And Team NF is not responding. Yes, they're sending Cho all the way down there. But yes, Team NF secures the lord. But, I mean, if One Piece were to keep continuing to do this, that glue just created so much space against Team NF.
Lot of space, and they're forcing Team NF to come down to him as well. Here is the way of the dragon to knock him up. A flicker, will it be enough to get away? Flame comes in for the backup, but he gets the dash. Ava Rose though, he stops him in his tracks, and now the split is on Flame. Look at the regen. They send 4 people to try to take this guy out, but he just walks away.
Look, let me introduce you to my family. Team NF send Highs down, sends the Lancelot down, sends Flame all the way down, meets Everrose. Basically, this Gucci is like, whoa, I literally met your whole extended family at this point. None of them will be able to take him down. Being so obnoxious, that's literally entertainment factor if this person is playing this glue.
Again, split onto Haze, and now this time he's dishing out the damage. Haze in some trouble here, immobilized. One more hit will do it. Will Gucci be able to get it? The shield comes in, but the Mountain Shocker comes in to help and finish up that kill.
Man, glue at this rate, bloody obnoxious. Team NF would be having a lot of PTSD going up against Gucci on this glue. My man Glue is like, yeah, you want to fight me? I'll just jump on top of you and you can't hit yourself, right? So that basically such a good duelist coming in.
Oh, but I'm offended. Gets Killmonger in the mid lane here. Feathered airstrike. One more hit is gonna make it, but Killmonger, he gets away alive. They don't connect the last hit on One Piece.
11 minutes later, mid lane finally cracked open. Team NF, while it took them this long to defend that mid lane, right? But One Piece, ooh, clean bottom lane. However, I think Team NF, they could try to start to break through the bottom side because of the turret tempo, but none of them is actually making this pick. Just take a look at Gucci once again.
Oh, Akashi isn't scared, really diving in like he isn't scared at all. And Gucci now just being the obnoxious guy going all the way in, zoning them out. Feathered airstrike was for good measure, but I think with Gucci there, you didn't need it at all. That guy just goes around you and like, oh, hello, there you are. You know, you're not gonna do anything to me.
Yeah, I brought friends too. Look at all this. This is glue number 1. This is glue number 2. You know, stuff like that. Meeting all the family. But once again, One Piece, Gucci created so much space at the bottom side. Team NF has no responses right now. I think Team NF should have hard engaged to a fight because it's a 4v5 whenever they go, especially if One Piece were to always keep Gucci at the side lanes, try to push it all the way in. If not, Team NF may lose the bottom side for good measure.
They might, and now top side One Piece, they're coming down. Here is Team NF, the cavalry is here trying to put the pain on Death, and they do manage to pick up the kill. Now Misslin, the one in trouble. Real manipulation here to close out that kill. Stings is next target. Will he be able to get away? No! Ava Rose says, even if your immortality's pop, you're not gonna go anywhere. They get 3 kills off of that. All this time, One Piece was just farming on the bottom lane.
Yep, Gucci is playing a solo game right now. Look at him, he's just ignoring everything. It's like, yeah, look at me bounce.
And they're playing to their exact psyches right now, you know. Team NF, we said they were the hot-headed kids. One Piece, they were the methodical ones, taking it step by step. And this is the draft, they're playing it exactly like that. Team NF, they're trying to find the fights, but One Piece, keeping their cool. They know that they have the better late game with JM on the Yi Sun Shin and Misslin with the damage. Death, of course, with the torn apart memory. And they're just waiting this out, slowly chipping away to be able to turn the tables eventually.
Yeah, I feel like Team NF will potentially lose a turret somewhere, somehow. Just close your eyes and it will just, blue team had turret destroyed or something like that all the way. But okay, here it goes right now.
Knock up onto Gucci, but again, the split drags it into the feathered airstrike, and he just dissipates from the map. At this point, One Piece now, they turn around for the Lord. This objective NF, can they contest it? Akashi, he's hovering around, but whether he will get the retribution in time, he gets stunned down and doesn't manage to get the Lord. It's gonna go the way of One Piece, and right now, the real manipulation is not enough for the defense. It's 3 against 2 kills. In favor of One Piece.
Yep, well, all this time, Hayes learned something from Gucci, steals the top side turret. I believe that's penetrates 2 turrets as well, while One Piece is a little bit busy with the Lord. But Team NF, though, nice trade in terms of these objectives, but that is a Luminous Lord. So Team NF, they have to be a little bit careful right now going in. They do have the Eve to slow the members of One Piece down, but it's all about the setup coming up for One Piece.
Yep, and they're trying to set themselves up right now. Remember the methodical approach, just syncing up the waves to be able to sync with the Lord and make this push as much as they can. You can see Hayes just there trying to do as much as he can to fend them off, but will it be enough?
Yep, 3-prong attack nicely synced all the way up. One Piece putting some pressure in all 3 lanes as well. Gucci receiving some damage as the bottom side as the Lord penetrates the bottom side. Top side though, it is going to be a Farsa and the Brody as Team NF collapse on top of them. One Piece will penetrate through the mid lane turret without any problems at all. Team NF, they're losing a little bit too much though.
Flame goes deep into the midst of One Piece, but he gets taken out, just blown up, doesn't get what he wants. Gucci peeling in the front line for the rest of the team. Team NF again losing and dropping kills to One Piece.
Yikes. Like, yeah, that was a good pickoff coming up from Team NF, but One Piece basically cleared off all of these turrets, right? And that's so good.
Yeah, so I feel like right now, I don't feel like Akashi... Mistlin has been just, you know, free throwing shots freely with the feathered airstrike, and Akashi kind of needs to like tail him exactly to stop him from doing that. Otherwise, Team NF, they don't seem to be getting the pick-offs that they've drafted for.
Yep, I think Team NF, they need to use Cho to start picking off One Piece, especially find Mistlin, bust him all the way down. You find the core, that's absolutely good. Especially, you know, Team NF, I thought they got the memo. Where if Gucci is always at the side lanes, Team NF could just pick up fight willy-nilly because, look, you're 1 man down, right? 5 beats 4. So They should have equalized. They should have committed all these team fights, forced Gucci all the way back. But because they don't dare to pick up team fights, One Piece will be able to get away with all of this money. But now they're focusing on Gucci, though.
Team NF, they hid in the bushes for the moment, but now Gucci is the one to get with the split. Hayes finds JM in the backline, though. Will they manage to take him down? Is the damage enough? It will be, as their damage dealer is gone on the side of One Piece, and now they have to back away from this fight. Team NF, they actually get one kill, but Akashi isn't scared, falls to death as well, so it's a 1-for-1 trade.
Yep, trading away cores just like that. I say Team NF finally realizes that, hey, you know what? I don't fight for 5v4, I fight 5v1. And there you have it, One Piece forced to react, goes all the way down. No more cross-map plays because it's really hard to try to play some cross-map. You can see this Hayes, right? Just setting up top side, try to push it all the way in. I think One Piece slowly but surely will lose in terms of, the big fights, especially when you fight inside the box, right? But One Piece, they do have an artillery in tow. One Piece, I feel like they're having a bit trouble closing up the game, and Team NF is benefiting from all of this.
Take a repeat of the last game slightly, but we know that One Piece, they're taking their step-by-step approach here, and their next step is going to be the Lord. So they're just waiting, setting themselves up for this objective in order to make the push, but now they find Ava Rose hiding in the bushes. He gets stunned out. It's the damage here, real world manipulation to put the pain on them, but it's not going to be enough. Mountain Shocker to disengage the fight for now. They've used the ultimates on the side of One Piece and the big ones on Team NF as well, but now they just completely disengaged. One Piece still has the upper hand to take this Lord.
Yeah, I think TNF took a lot of them, like ultimates, but don't forget the Feather Airstrike comes out a lot faster in terms of its cooldown. That's why Farsa is still the better long-range artillery mage. Team NF, yes, they should have actually doubled down. They won that team fight slightly, but they lost the Lord pressure because they have to bounce back and defend this the super minions marching into all three lanes. Now One Piece securing the enhanced Lord should be marching down the mid lane side. If you take a look, right, Team NF, there's no point of contest. They're not using this Eve to zone the members of One Piece to secure objectives, and it's slowly starting to hurt them. Gucci created once again at the bottom side, creating so much space. It's really tough for NF to basically. There's no answer to this glue, and One Piece is just literally laughing it off.
No matter what the match statistics are gonna say later, Gucci is definitely my MVP. Like, no question about that. He's peeled so much for the team, and Team NF just can't do anything about that. Right now, Ava Rose already taking a lot of damage. The Lord is marching down into the base of Team NF, and they're chucking down on the core. It's already at half HP. Real manipulation, the damage, but is it gonna be enough to defend? The core is going down. One Piece. They can't make their stand here, as Team NF is going to be the one that goes down in this series.
Yeah, good play over to the side of Team NF though. It's really, really hard. They don't really have an answer to this glue. They don't really know what to do, especially when the enemy splits 4 and 1. They don't really dare to pick up fights, and they don't really dare to target down Gucci because Gucci has proven very slippery. Because what's gonna happen, right? You target Gucci at the bottom side, the enemy 4 member will just hard push top side. You pressure the 4-man, Gucci will hard push bottom side. So it's always this big problem. And should NF try to mirror that? I think they did. They tried to do 4-1 to match this glue, but this glue has proven obnoxious, right? Jump on top of someone and just start dishing out so much damage. You see Hayes time and time again just unable to kill off this glue because this glue has proven so slippery, and also does quite a little bit of damage, especially when it goes into the Magic Helm.
Yeah, like I said, no matter what the stats say, he's gonna be my MVP. He peeled so much, and they just couldn't do anything to him. He goes in. No, when they try to engage on him, they don't get the kills. But the reverse happens when he tries to engage on them, and he gets the kills. But together with the Mountain Shocker to boot, and they manage to close that out. So I think really it is One Piece showing that they know their draft, they know how to work around it, executed well as well, and took their methodical approach to be able to close it out.
Yeah, but going into, of course, if I take a look at the brackets right now, I'm actually kind of worried about One Piece. Yes, they're very slow, they're very methodical, but how are you going to fight against someone that is really, really aggressive? Because going to the semifinals, they will be meeting up with Bushis. And on the
Mm.
other side, Rank tonight will be going up against Zenka Kindergarten. However, this is all we have for today. If you want to find out more, I believe you have to watch the stream on 1st of January, where we will finally resolve the Asia Esports Festival X Comic Con for the MLBB Community Tournament. Semifinals and finals should be happening on the 1st of January.
Yep, so remember to stay tuned if you want to continue seeing these teams fight it out in the semifinals and the finals. Remember, they're fighting for a huge prize pool of
Oh, yes.
thousands of dollars in vouchers and thousands of diamonds. We all know how much stuff diamonds can buy you. More emotes to spam as well. So definitely want to pay
Oh.
attention to those games.
Yeah, I'm not the kind of big person that spams the emotes unless I know I'm absolutely winning, or as long as I'm playing that glue, that's when I'll spam the emotes. Never knew Scrubby Cheeks would be the person that spams recall and spam the emotes, right?
I'm just saying you can buy them, but not that I use them. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is all we have for you for today. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. This has been the Asia Esports Festival X Comic Con MLBB Community Tournament, organized by Esports Entertainment Asia and Comic Con. And a huge thank you to our partners and sponsors: Bell's Academic Group, BuildTech, Excel Games, M1, Monster Cat, Mountain Dew, OSIM, Safra, Scorpio Electric, Shore, Yumi Sushi, and You at Me. Thank you
Of
so much,
course.
everyone.
Of course, what a huge blast to all of this, all these games. I had lots of fun. I made fun of Zenka's Kindergarten so much with the crayons. I've also made fun with a lot of different analogies, and okay, I was the Brad Pitt. No, it's not Brad Pitt. It's Tom Cruise. My bad for
Cruise! Gosh.
Mission Impossible and Gandalf. I need to stop, but it was wonderful to be casting with you, Scrubby Cheeks as well. Hope you guys had fun for our casts too.
Yep, and we'll see you on the day of the finals. Thanks for tuning in. This is Scrubby Cheeks and Jay signing off.